from the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville, San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, tonight is round one of the NFL draft, and former UIW quarterback Cam Ward is expected to go number one overall to the Tennessee Titans. Cowboys will select at number 12, while the Texans have the 25th overall selection tonight. You can listen to the draft, by the way, right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It begins at 6, right after the Blitz. NBA playoffs continue tonight, 3 games on the schedule.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Absolutely. It is draft day. It's like Christmas Day. It is finally here. And it's Fiesta, the official first day of that. So let's party. It is The Blitz. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix at the best place for your draft party. We are at the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a lot of fun in here tonight. ESPN's been covering this stuff all day. They got a nice shot of Cam Ward up on the middle screen, one of those giant screens here at the Roo Pub. And talking to him, he's excited about tonight, as he should be. Number one overall pick, at least expected to be.
Well, and you look at that. It would be the shocker of all shocks if Cam Ward is not the number one overall pick. That would be the craziest. Although I appreciate Cam Ward and how he is handling this. First off, it is so freaking cool to watch a guy that you watch play over at Incarnate Word develop and now be in this position to be the number one overall pick. I mean, there's first rounders, and that's cool, but to be the number one overall guy. But I saw a video of him this morning, kind of bitching about being in Green Bay and it's cold and there's nothing to do. And he said, you guys know where I'm going. It's either Nashville or New York. And you know, because he knows if something happens and it isn't the Titans, he's going to be a New York Giant.
Yeah, he'll be a New York Giant. So, I don't know. Is it still cold in Green Bay?
According to Cam Ward this morning, yes.
Well, it could be. That means it's about 60 then.
Well, I mean,
because Cam's he's a warm weather guy.
Yeah, but he did spend a couple of years in Pullman, Washington.
True.
And and even my wife brought up the fact that we will celebrate, my wife and I, 30 years of marriage this summer. And in those 30 years,
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, God bless her. But in 30,
buy her a drink.
In 30 years, well, she'll be at the Roo Pub later. You can. In 30 years, I have done Thanksgiving with her family, her side of the family, one time, and it's because of Cam Ward and Eric Morris. Because when Eric got the job, the OC job at Washington State, and that's where my wife and all their family went. They're all Washington State Cougars, and he was like, "You got to come to a game now." And my wife says, we're going to the Apple Cup. And it was the coolest event, Washington State versus Washington, their version of Texas A&M. But, if Cam and Eric aren't there, I still will not have had a Thanksgiving in the Pacific Northwest where it is stupid cold.
Yeah, I'm good here.
Yeah.
I'll just have Thanksgiving here. I'm all right with that. Yeah. So you've done it. Now you don't have to do it again.
And never again.
Yeah,
and
so
never
you're good.
Done Christmas over there, and that will never happen. I like going out there in June and July.
Yeah, that's much better.
Only time really to go to Seattle, unless you're going to a Seahawk game in October.
Absolutely.
We've done that.
I do find it strange, honestly, and I guess I don't know why I find it strange, but they having the draft in Green Bay. I mean, that seems a little weird to me. Why Green Bay? I mean, who the hell wants to go to Green Bay?
Well, they pay a lot of money for that.
I guess, but who the hell? You hear Cam Ward. Who the hell wants to go there? Nobody. And I would like to go see a game there in September.
Yeah.
But, other reason.
As cool as Lambeau is, I don't know that I have the desire to go. And I like going to old stadiums and going to places like that. I like checking stuff like that off the bucket list. But I don't know that Green Bay really is that high on my list, because if you go to experience it, don't you have to go when it's 9 degrees?
No.
Don't you have to go to get the full Lambeau experience?
No.
Don't you have to just be flat frozen?
No.
And I have no desire to do that. To go there for a preseason game, to go there in September, I think if you're going to experience Lambeau, you've got to experience the frozen tundra, and I have no desire to do that.
Dude, I don't. Who made that rule? I'm not doing that. I would like to go. I'd like to go see a game, 1 or 2 in September, a real game, and experience it that way. I'm not going when it's
let's just say the next
minus 20 degrees.
You're on vacation in Milwaukee, and you decide to drive over and take a tour of the stadium. Although I will say, it might be worth it just to go to the stadium and take the tour as opposed to going and watching a game. I saw our buddy Christian Bowe from USAA. They're out there doing stuff with service members, and he said it was one of the coolest stadiums and posted all these pictures. And, but I don't give a damn about the Packers Hall of Fame. The history, sure, but, but to your point, like it was in Nashville, last year was Detroit. This year, Green Bay. I forget where next year's is going to be, but they have taken the draft and they have turned it into this incredible event.
Oh, yeah.
And I know last year, a couple of years ago, James Pledger went to the one in Kansas City. And just hearing Pledger's stories kind of makes me want to go and kind of makes me want to avoid it like the plague, because let's just say on this first day of Fiesta, the draft is Nyosa on super steroids with the amount of people and the not enough porta potties and the amount of beer and it just is one of those fun events that you get to do. Like when they had it at Jerry World, we were working, and because Marcus Davenport went, we were working and not able to just, all right, cool, that was fun, and let's get the hell out of here and go to the parties. Well,
anytime you're working and you can't partake with the rest of the fans and have a few cold beers and stuff like that, it's work.
Yeah.
And who cares about that? If I'm going to go, I want to go when I can have some fun. So, but again, when you look at this thing, and I remember Nashville last year, and the amount of people that were there was just insane. I mean, all the way down the street, whatever street they had it on, all the way down. And it was just crazy. I don't know how many people were there, but it had to be at least 100,000, if not more. I don't know. I have no clue. But it was a hell of a lot of people, and I'm not really sure I want to do that.
Well, you could find the VIP section.
Well, I maybe.
I mean, there's something to that. All I know is you get a former Incarnate Word Cardinal that is going to go number 1 overall. And from the UIW perspective, and you talk about family, Eric Morris and his family are with Cam Ward in Green Bay.
That's cool.
And you think about what Cam Ward kind of owes, probably isn't the right word, but, Eric Morris is the one that found him, hit him, and developed him, got him to Washington State, helped get him to the University of Miami. And I just love the fact that Cam Ward has maintained that relationship with Eric to the point of, coming up there. And there's pictures of Eric Morris and his kid at the draft, hanging out with Cam, doing stuff. And, it's just really cool to see. And I just hope Incarnate Word takes full advantage of the amount of attention and love that they are going to get tonight during the NBA draft, what they've gotten for the last week. But I would imagine that Cam will talk about UIW tonight in the gazillion interviews that he's about to do.
I'm sure he will, and he'll mention it, and somebody else will mention it, I'm sure. But, UIW is going to take advantage of it. They're smart folks over there. You have to. But I'm excited for the young man. I really am. Having said that, we know what's going number 1, or we're 99.9% sure. The rest of the draft starts after that. And I'm telling you, I just have a feeling, Minix, that there's going to be some fireworks tonight. At some point in time, somebody's going to make a move and jump up the draft board to get somebody, steal somebody from somebody else. And I just have a feeling that's going to happen tonight. Everything up until this point has just been ho-hum. Right? Nobody's traded anything. Nobody's done anything. But I think that changes tonight, and I think you're going to see some of those changes. This is not overly exciting draft when it comes to talent-wise. Now, there's some good players, don't get me wrong, but the quarterback class, not that strong. But I still think there's going to be some movement and some fireworks.
And the fact that it's 2:09 and we haven't had those major trades yet, but there's a lot of conversation. There's conversation Coming out of New York, Breece Hall is on the market. The Cowboys want a running back. Would you give a second or a third day pick for Breece Hall? Is that something you could do? Clarence Hill tweeted out something is in the works. Quote tweeting a Breece Hall tweet where he just has his fingers crossed emoji. He knows he's on his way out. And as you sit there and go, hell yeah, I'll give up a third day pick for that dude. Keep in mind, he's going into the final year of his deal. So he's going to be really expensive starting in 2026. Is that worth giving up? One of your fifth-round picks. And if the Jets will give him up for a fifth for a year rental, I might do that, because what are the Cowboys going to do at 12? Is it running back? Is it wide receiver? Is it an offensive lineman? Now is your time to call your shot. What do you think the Cowboys will do? You got to tell us now, because don't say tomorrow I told you so, and you didn't. You want to tell us now. You can either comment on the YouTube feed. You can go to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel and make your comments there. Although we like them where we can actually go back and see them easier. So tweet your suggestions at Joe Reinagle 210, at Jason Minix, or the old-fashioned way. Let's talk about it. Who do you think they're going to take and why? 210-656-ESPN. 656-3776. You want to tell us what you think the Cowboys are going to do tonight. Let's talk about it more in depth. Coming up live here at the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road.
And let's talk about one of my favorite subjects right off the bat, though, and that's Stevens Roofing. Love Stevens Roofing. The folks over there are fantastic. Family-owned company, locally based company. And, well, I tell you what, they've been in business for so long here in San Antonio and South Texas. They got so many satisfied customers. And the other thing that they know is the weather here in this part of the country. Look, storms come through all the time. We just had one the other night with the lightning, the thunder, a little bit of hail and the wind and all of that kind of stuff. And the folks at Stevens Roofing know what everybody else is going through. And they live here just like we do. So you want a local roofer that deals with the same weather you do, and a roofer that's going to be here for years to come. That describes Stevens Roofing to a T. Look, Stevens Roofing right now, when you give them a call at 210-785-0994, they'll send a crew out to give you a free, no-obligation roof inspection. They'll check out your roof, and they'll let you know, hey, it's about time for a new roof, or you got a couple of places we need to repair, or guess what, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner? Your roof is in great shape. You've got no problems. Have a nice day. They're going to give you that peace of mind that you want, that you deserve, and that you need when the storms come rolling in. Call the best in the business. Call Stevens Roofing and Solar, 210-785-0994.
If you're looking to up your beer game, Karbach has you covered. From Hopadillo to Crawford Bach to Ziegenbach to their best seller, the Love Street, there's something for everybody in the lineup, and you can find it anywhere. Next time you're out and about, ask your bartender to make it a Karbach.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
They say all good things come to those who wait, but not for those who wait for that next auto breakdown that could cost you thousands of dollars. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance Auto Protection Plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, drivetrain, and more. more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-282-6709. That's 800-282-6709. 800-282-6709.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hey, San Antonio, multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATS.
Cinco de Mayo is near, and the celebration starts at Total Wine & More, your cocktail central. Whether you're shaking up fresh margaritas, sipping on a crisp cerveza, or savoring a smooth tequila, Total Wine is your fiesta celebration destination. So stop by your local Total Wine & More and make this Cinco de Mayo the best one yet. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Trying to think. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this draft day. First day of Fiesta. Come party with us at the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road.
You know, it's all the big events happen right here at the Roo Pub. Right? So you got the NFL draft tonight. Going to be fun. And I can't wait. I'm actually going to stick around and have some dinner, have a few beers, and watch the draft here. I can't wait to see what happens tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And while, you know, it's 2:17, the calm before the storm, I like the fact that when I look around, there are big tables here with reserve signs because people know this is the place to be, and they want to make sure they've got a table. So I would suggest to you, get here early. Dinner is going to be fantastic because all the food here is. But, yeah, this place is going to be packed. And, you know, I was toying with the idea, like, all right, you know, there's a band I want to see playing tonight at Vibes Underground. Am I going to go to that? Nah, dude, it's Christmas Day. I got to stay and watch the draft.
Absolutely.
I mean, yesterday I was like, yeah. And today I'm like, I'm not. No, I've been geeked up for this draft, and I want to watch the chaos, and I expect chaos. The fact that we haven't had a lot of chaos yet tells me tonight will not go chalk. This will not be like the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely not. I'm going to tell you what, I'm expecting some fireworks, and I can't wait for it. I'm here for it. And that's why we love the NFL. And they make such a big production out of it. The big setup there in Green Bay that they're ready to roll with. We've been talking about this thing now for 2 or 3 weeks, and it's finally here. We finally get to see what happens, and then you either bitch and complain what your team does, or you're very happy camper depending on what your team does. So it's just one of those nights, and tonight is look, the rest of the draft I'll watch, but I won't be intensely into it, although tomorrow I probably will be, second and third rounds. But you know what I mean. Tonight is the night. That's the big night for the NFL draft, and I can't wait.
So there was a question posed on one of the TV shows earlier. Will Jerry Jones get it right tonight? The reality is you can only answer that question if he picks what you want, right? I mean, because I don't know that Jerry can screw this draft up. Now, we might be more excited over one versus the other because it's been wide receiver for the most part this entire draft process, finding another weapon for Dak Prescott. And when I look at the amount of money they got invested between Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, you get another weapon for Dak Prescott, and this offense goes. I mean, and we know Jerry loves the splash, right? A lot of talk about an offensive lineman. Yeah. I even saw Shereen Williams tweet earlier, Cowboy fans will revolt if they move down to draft a guard with one or both of those receivers on the board. I think our initial reaction would be that, but if that's the right guy, because I want the shiny weapon. Could it be a running back? A lot of speculation there. Then you see, well, there's Breece Hall is available. Could they trade for a Breece Hall? Although Breece Hall has 1 year left on his deal, I don't know that the Cowboys, because they're cheap, would be willing to take on a Breece Hall, even if it is a third-day pick, knowing that they would have to give him a contract a year from now.
Well, I mean, look at the Jets. That's the reason he's on the trade block, right? Because he's in the final year of his deal. Now, if the Cowboys are interested in a 1 year rental with a Breece Hall, but look, I think you draft one. I think this is too good of a draft, running back wise, to make that move for Breece Hall. Now, if you like Breece Hall and you're a team that wants to keep him around, you want to pay him and give him a new contract, so be it. I don't think the Cowboys are that team. Draft a running back. You got the guy on a rookie contract, a guy that you can count on for the next 4 years or so. And you move forward with that. There's just too many good ones in this draft for the Cowboys to make that Breece Hall move. And it may be bad timing, in fact, because it is such a good running back draft for the Jets to put him out on the market.
Which is why a lot of the national NFL guys are saying a day 3 pick. Because you would think that he would be worth more than that, but his contract situation says otherwise. And I've got to admit, I've been trying to convince myself on which receiver I want more. And I imagine as you play tug of war in your mind, or you're arguing with your friends at the bar on who is a better fit. Imagine that in some conference room at all these NFL facilities between all of their staffs, right? Now, I was big on Ted McMillan until I saw that interview about how much he loves football. I'm also a Longhorn fan, so probably a little biased towards Golden, but dude, speed, you can't teach that. You also can't teach 6'4", which is what McMillan has. So I'm trying to decide for me, what do I think is better for the Cowboys? Then I listened to Jed Fish, current coach of the Washington Huskies, was at the University of Arizona with T-Mac. And hearing him talk about T-Mac, boy, it'd be hard to not take this guy if he is sitting there at number 12.
It's 2014. I am the offensive coordinator of the Jaguars, and we go to A&M to go watch the pro day of Manziel and Mike Evans. And Mike Evans catches this ball right in front of us on a comeback, and I'm like, this guy is incredible. And we were in a situation where we were needing to take a quarterback, and at number 3, we wound up taking Blake Bortles, and at number 4, Mike Evans went to Tampa Bay. The idea of Mike Evans was, I mean, he's 6'4" or more. He's so big. He's so strong. He's so physical. He's an incredible football player. He's quiet. He doesn't bring a lot of attention to himself, but his production, his Hall of Fame career. Well, T-Mac reminded me so much in our 3rd year. You kind of have to grow into being Mike Evans, let's call it. His ability to drop his weight is similar to Mike Evans. His ability to run all the routes in a route tree is similar. And I really feel like somebody is going to take T-Mac, have a 10, 12-year run, if they want to, with one of the best wide receivers that we'll see.
See, and I hear that from Jed Fish, former coach at Arizona, now at Washington, who, by the way, got a lot wrong there because Mike Evans went number 7 to Tampa Bay, not 4. At number 4, the Bills took wide receiver Sammy Watkins. And then Khalil Mack went, Jake Matthews went, then Mike Evans. By the way, the number 1 pick that year, the Houston Texans had the number 1 overall pick, and they took Jadeveon Clowney, which tells you this whole thing is a crapshoot. But also the end of that, you could have a 10 to 12-year career with this guy if you want to. Is that if you want to, a sign that you got to deal with a lot of BS can you deal with that for 10 or 12 years? But while you got him, this dude is Mike Evans.
And does that tell you all you need to know? Can you imagine having Mike Evans on the Dallas Cowboys? That's why I love this guy, McMillan. I really do, for a number of reasons. And Golden is Golden. Golden, what he brings is a speed, and I get it. He can take it over the top. But with McMillan, you're going to have so many more options. I mean, he's a possession guy. Guy you need 6 yards from, bam, there you go. He can do a curl, and you got a first down. Guy you need that 20-yard out, bam, you got McMillan right there. And then in the red zone, this guy's going to be pretty much unstoppable because last time I checked, most corners in the NFL are about 5'11".
Yeah.
All right. This dude is 6'4", and then when he extends his arms, he's about 10'3".
Well, so I mean, you look at this, and we met and talked a lot with Lindsey Rhodes, now with Sumner Sports, at the Super Bowl. And, of course, a lot of people remember Lindsey Rhodes from her time at NFL Network. Very smart. She's working with former GM Thomas Dimitroff at Sumner Sports. She's got a chart about Ted McMillan last year. And it's amazing that he had 55 targets on routes between 0 and 10 yards. 7 targets behind the line of scrimmage. 37 targets between 20 and 30 yards, and 30 targets at 30 plus. I mean, when you look at 55, 37, and 30 in those 10-yard increments, that tells you that guy is running the entire route tree. And he's not just a speed demon going deep. He's not just a possession over the middle short yardage. This guy runs the entire route tree and can get open the entire route tree, which is what Fish was talking about.
Every time the highlights that I watch of this guy, I just fall more in love with him. And if he's there at 12 and the Cowboys, I just don't see how they pass up Ted McMillan if he is still there at 12. I just think, to me, that would be a huge mistake. Now, again, you said it at the top of this segment, Cowboys can't really lose with that pick. There are a lot of good players that are going to be available at number 12. But I think Ted McMillan paired up with CeeDee Lamb is going to give Dak Prescott a couple of options. And McMillan is he's not going to be double covered. He's going to be single covered on the outside. And that's going to take a lot of heat off of CeeDee Lamb. I just think that is the pick. And if he comes up available at 12 and the Cowboys don't take him, I'll be extremely disappointed.
Well, see, and again, if he's available and they take Golden, I'm not going to be mad. If they take a guard and those receivers are sitting there,
you might be mad.
I'll be less excited. I just look at what they've already invested in the offensive line, and the fact that you're paying Dak Prescott $60 million a year, you're paying CeeDee Lamb. This offense needs weapons. They want to be an explosive offense, but could they also take a running back if they took Hampton at 12? I don't expect Genty to fall, but if Genty's there at 12, then that's what they're doing. And that wouldn't surprise me, because also I'm trying to piecemeal everything we know about all this stuff. Brian Schottenheimer, since he's become head coach, has talked about a run game. And you think about Marty Ball, his dad, run first, and you get a bell cow running back that can set up play action, then it wouldn't surprise me if they went running back. But I'm still thinking wide receiver, because you've got so much invested. You get a legit wide receiver too. And again, CeeDee's going to attract coverage. If it's Golden or if it's McMillan, they're going to attract coverage. So guess what? Now you got Jake Ferguson that won't have safety help coming down with the linebacker. Maybe that third wide receiver, Jalen Tolbert, could turn into what we thought. Or if you got McMillan, you're using Turpin speed to try to go long. It's just that second dominant wide receiver would give so many options for Schottenheimer in calling plays, and a better chance for this offense to be the explosive offense we thought it was going to be, and what we saw 2 years ago when Mike McCarthy, was taking over plays, and it's like, all right, man, they're getting there, and then of course, the step back and then the injuries. I just think it opens up so much more with a legit wide receiver too, and I think that's one of the biggest things. We're talking about wide receiver 2 at number 12. Not wide receiver 1, and it feels like rich people problem to get a wide receiver 2 with the 12th overall pick, but that to me, feels like what the Cowboys need most.
See, and when you say it like that, I think you draft McMillan, you're getting another number one. I mean, you are, even though he won't be considered that. You're getting another number one with Golden. He's clearly a number two.
Yeah,
there's no question in my mind. So you've got the other guys, the other speedy guys. You mentioned Turpin, even Tolbert to some extent. I just think a possession receiver like McMillan is what the Cowboys need, and I just think that that's where they go. Offensive line, you can find those guys in the later rounds. Cooper Beebe's a perfect example. Just look at last year, Tyler Guyton. He may turn into something, but he was not near the productive player that Cooper Beebe was. Cooper Beebe was in the 3rd round. Guyton was a 1st-round pick. And again, Guyton, young, he may turn into something. Of course, the Cowboys are hoping so, but Beebe did already. You can find those guys. You can find running backs in the later rounds. A guy like Ted McMillan, he ain't going to be around in the later rounds. And I think if he's there at 12, you take him.
And it's so interesting looking at some of the comments right now on our YouTube page. McMillan won't be there at 12. And that's the crazy thing about this year's draft is after 5 or 6, it really seems like such a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Cam Ward 1, Travis Hunter 2, Abdul Carter 3. What does New England do it for? Genty could go 5 or 6 to the Raiders. I don't know. It was Raiders forever, and now it looks like Jacksonville might want them. What does New Orleans do at 9? And McMillan looks like a Kellen Moore dream, right? Throw a word in front of that. You know what I'm going with that.
Exactly,
Does he get by 9? Or does New Orleans end up taking a quarterback? But you look at mock drafts, and you get McMillan and Golden are high teens to mid-20s.
Yeah.
Right? Now, there is somewhere along the way in every mock draft, neither one of those two dudes are slipping to the 2nd round. But, there is such a gulf of picks, the inconsistency on players like that. It's because of need. And again, I want a wide receiver. That's what I'm hoping the Cowboys do tonight at number 12 if they stay at 12. I don't know. I certainly wouldn't be mad at a running back if it's one of the ones we've been talking about as 1st-round talent. I don't know that I'd be mad at an offensive lineman, but I would be less excited if that makes sense. I just don't see a way Jerry could screw this up unless, I don't know, he took a safety, a nose tackle, because –
well, that kid from Texas, the cornerback, is getting a lot of praise. That's a need for them as well. But I just think you have to go wide receiver in this draft. If it's Golden, okay, so be it. I'm not going to be upset by that. But I just see if McMillan is there at 12, I just don't see any way in the world you let him go by. I just don't. And I just think he's just the physical specimen of Ted McMillan. And the hands that he has and the things that he can do, I just don't think you let him pass by.
I mean, Golden, McMillan, flip a coin. And imagine the debate that we're having, looking at the comments on YouTube, those of you that are yelling at your radio right now. So imagine what it's like right now in the war room with Jerry, Steve, and Will McClay and all the scouts and whatever input shot he has. And I do think the Schottenheimer input being his first pick, just based on hearing how much he talked and participated in the pre-draft press conference, I think they really are listening to him. And I feel like, especially with this first pick, it's to give him another weapon because Jerry took a chance hiring Brian Schottenheimer to be a first-time head coach. I do think Jerry, who's not a dumb businessman, will do everything he can to make sure Schottenheimer is successful because that makes Jerry look like a genius.
Absolutely. It does.
Got to be a receiver. Got to be a weapon.
I would think so. It has to be. It's just such a deep draft with the other positions they need. And I just love the physical specimen that Ted McMillan is. And I like that guy. And somebody's going to get a hell of a pick. If he slides past 12, all signs point to Seattle at 19.
And again, I mean, that's the crazy thing. Everybody tonight's going to get a really good player that you're going to say, damn it, man, I wish we had got him. And what I want tomorrow when we start the Blitz is not talking about, I can't believe this guy, and that guy were available and we did this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, offensive linemen, they don't have that same sex appeal when it comes to next year when we're watching and we could have had. And I don't think Jerry, who went offensive line last year, can have another draft where he's not getting another shiny object. He loves the toys, and the Cowboys need the explosive playmaker.
It's a year for toys for Jerry Jones. I just believe that it is, and he's got to go there.
Before we head to break, speaking of year for toys, Shannon Sharp has released a statement as he's dealing with everything that he's dealing with. And while he maintains he is 100% innocent, he is stepping away from his role at ESPN on a temporary basis. He plans to be, according to his release today, back on ESPN by the NFL preseason. In the meantime, he's going to focus on family and defending himself with the accusations. Although he does maintain everything with that lady were 100% consensual.
I don't think that's entirely his decision, to be honest with you. I think ESPN probably has something to do with that. Go take care of this, and we'll see where the chips fall. But, yeah, it's the right thing to do either way. He needs to get out, take care of this thing, and we'll see how the chips fall and what happens next. But he needs to get out of there for a while.
Yeah, stay out of the news and quit releasing text messages and voice recordings, dude.
Woo! Yeah, some of that is they had a hell of a love life, if you want to call it that.
I mean, they're into things.
Boom, chicka, wow, wow.
Please don't ever do that again. Please do not ever
Boom, chicka,
do
wow, wow.
that again.
Oh, Shannon.
Keep your collar in your bedroom, Joe. It is the Blitz here on at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Come hang out with us as we get ready for tonight's draft here at the Roo Pub at 281 and Redland Road. Going to be a fun time tonight. We're sticking around. Even Greg Shelton's probably going to stick around tonight and watch the NFL draft as he figures out what his Houston Texans are going to do. James Pledger is, he's beside himself ready for the draft. Come hang out with us.
He'll probably show up here. Wouldn't surprise.
Let's talk about the rest of the NFL and different moves that could be made as we continue here on the Blitz. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle. Who's the newest Cowboy? Who's going to be drafted tomorrow? We'll talk about that. Plus, we've got NBA playoffs still in full swing. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I don't understand the fetishes of the feet thing and all that. I don't get it.
So what is your line for weirdness?
My wife has really long hair and it smells good. That's nice.
What about her feet? Suck on her toes?
No, I don't suck on her toes. That's nasty. Nobody needs to be sucking on toes.
Well, there's the promo for the show this week.
Yeah. The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 Gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635. And you are guaranteed a $10 Gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These Gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through HIMS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to HIMS.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
we can be twinsies
to
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Along with Joe Reinagel, I'm Jay Semenix. Glad to have you along on draft day. First day of Fiesta as well, so there's lots of reasons to party with us here at the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road.
Well, and it's just, seems logical that the first day of the draft is the first day of Fiesta. It's all a party anyway. So it's perfect. Works out great.
Well, I mean, not that the draft needs any kind of Fiesta help, but sure, there's a reason to party tonight. And this is one of those days that every fan base has hope, right? Pledger is all Texaned out. He's wearing the same outfit he's been wearing for years on draft day. He actually calls it his draft day outfit.
Hope he washed it.
Well, I don't know if he washes it, but he does keep in plastic, and he brings it out every year on the first day. It's the only time, I mean, because he's got the whole thing. He's got his lucky underwear, his socks, his tights, his shorts, the sleeveless hoodie thing that he wears. But that's his draft day outfit. It's kind of like a tuxedo that you wear once a year. He puts that in plastic. I don't know if it's washed or not, and and leaves it in the closet. That is specific for draft day because, as he said, it's been lucky. And when it's not lucky, like the Davion Clowney year, then Pledge has a bonfire with that outfit.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's a very complicated young man. Explains why he doesn't have a girlfriend.
Well, sure,
but
that and a lot of things.
Well, sure, but everybody has hope. Matt Roy from Channel 4, for whatever reason, is a big Broncos fan, and he was texting, "You guys going to stick around? I'm going to come watch." He even has hope for tonight that his Broncos might do something. See, and that's what the beauty of the draft is. Last year when they took Bo Nix, I can't imagine Bronco fans were thrilled. Now they think that old Sean Payton is actually a genius.
Well, of course they do, and they're bound down and kissing his butt. That's what everybody does, right? With old Sean. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I wouldn't quite go that far, but yeah, overrated maybe. We need that. Look, at Denver, there's been rumors that they're going to maybe be aggressive and move up in the draft. And I get this on a YouTube page from Sam. He says the betting markets, and I saw this earlier, have the Bears trading the 5th overall pick with the Jags and grabbing Ashton Genty. I think the Raiders might be involved there too. And I know this is not there, but New England, I think, would be willing to trade that number 4 pick. And it would not surprise me if somebody slides up to number 4 if you really like Genty and you think Jacksonville or somebody else sliding into that 5th is going to grab him. Take that 4th spot from New England and take your running back.
Well, and then you wonder, playing devil's advocate, and if you listen to Q on ESPN Radio, and we've known Q Myers for forever, right?
Yep.
And he's all about Raider Nation radio and now working ESPN and still does all this stuff in Las Vegas. He wants Shedeur Sanders. And it doesn't matter that Shedeur just got picked up or that the Raiders just signed a quarterback, because that's not long term. And that would actually be good for Shedeur Sanders. 1, you're a top 10 pick. And 2, you're not expected to start right away. And you get some coaching from somebody other than your father. And you learn how to be a pro. That would be a good situation for the Raiders. But at number 6, can you afford to take a player who will not have an immediate impact? But it would be kind of similar to what the Falcons did last year when at number 8, they took Michael Penix out of UW after they just signed Kirk Cousins to $1 gazillion.
Well, look, I think just looking at what's best for Shedeur and looking at the two situations, whether it's the Raiders or Pittsburgh, I mean, you got Geno Smith there. Shedeur can learn under a real pro, a veteran pro who can teach him how to act in the NFL, to teach him how to play in the NFL. So I think for Shedeur, that would be an ideal situation. I just don't know if they're going to do that. Not if an Ashton Genty is a possibility. They're in love with this guy, just like Chicago is, just like Jacksonville is. So everybody wants a little Ashton Genty, so we'll see who wins that sweepstakes. But just for what's good for Shedeur, I think that'd be a perfect landing spot for him.
Well, and again, it'd be interesting to see how it falls out. I do expect some chaos tonight. Now, you look at some of the moves that have been made. Tennessee helping out Cam Ward. They signed Tyler Lockett to a 1-year deal, $4 million. Good veteran guy in the room that can help a young quarterback be a pro. I love Tyler Lockett. He is a great dude, a great teacher. Bummed that he didn't get to play his entire career with the Seahawks. He'll retire a Seahawk one day, but that is a great move by the Tennessee Titans.
Well, now Cam Ward has a couple of receivers in Calvin Ridley and Tyler Lockett, and I think it was a good move. He's got a running back in Pollard. So he's got some weapons there, and we'll see what else the Titans do throughout the draft. Hopefully upgrade that offensive line a little bit, and we'll see what else. But, yeah, I think it was a brilliant move, and I think a move that they are serious about drafting this young man, and I'm talking about Cam Ward, and giving him the tools to be successful. You know, a lot of times with a team like the Titans or the Giants or Cleveland or name a team that hasn't been so good lately, these young quarterbacks come into a situation where there's no way they can succeed. And at least Cam Ward is going to come in with a couple of quality wide receivers.
Now, speaking of trades, yesterday we heard that the Steelers were shopping George Pickens, and it is 2025, so you just have to go see, oh, yep, he did. He has unfollowed the Steelers Instagram account.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
At the breakup.
Well, yeah, they're trying to deal him. It'll be interesting to see if that happens tonight or whether it happens after the draft. But Pickens is gone. Now that they've got Metcalf, they figured, I guess Pickens is what's the word I'm looking for?
Tradable.
Expendable.
Yes. Well, and again, and you wonder if you're the Cowboys, because it all comes back to what would Jerry do. If you might work a trade again, part of this is Jerry said they was having 2 major trade conversations. Substantial, I believe, is the word that he used, right?
That's the word.
So
we're all in.
Again, we got to define all in and substantial or substantive or whatever the hell he said, right? But could George Pickens be in play? If they take a guard, but they trade for a Pickens, I don't know how mad I'd be at the end of the day.
Well, you'd be thrilled. I mean, but I don't. That doesn't seem like a Jerry move. I mean, you're talking about another guy who's, I don't know what his contract situation is, but that's coming up pretty soon. And you've already paid one wide receiver a ton of money. Are you going to pay another one? Cincinnati did it.
All in, brother.
We'll see. I just don't think that Jerry means that when he says it. I think you can get one. If it's Golden, if it's McMillan, or if it's the kid from Ohio State, at least you've got a wide receiver on a rookie deal that you can work with. And I think that's the better way to go than trading for one of these guys. We'll see. Kansas City has been a team mentioned as a landing spot for Pickens, or Green Bay even as a landing spot for Pickens.
It's going to be interesting, again, following all the different rumor mills that are out there. And then, of course, staying on the social media side of things, it's not just the general manager, but the general manager's kid. Now, Joe Shane's kid might actually be a little bit smarter than Joe Shane. If you go back to Hard Knocks, his kid thought he was foolish for wanting to give up Saquon Barkley, yet he did it anyway. So, of all things, Joe Shane's kid posts a Jackson Dart highlight reel on his Instagram story. And then, of course, it got attention, and then his son's Instagram went private.
Well, that's been the speculation, right? The Giants will take Abdul Carter with the third pick and then trade back into the first round to snag Jackson Dart. I don't know how Dart's going to be as a pro. And again, it's another roll of the dice, which the entire draft is. But at least the Giants would solve a couple of problems. Kayvon Thibodeau is supposed to be their guy, their pass rusher. He hasn't wowed anybody. And so I see the love affair with Abdul Carter, and I think anybody should have that. So you wonder if a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau would be expendable if they went in and do draft Abdul Carter. So it's going to be interesting, man, the entire draft. But I think the Giants have the plans to get back in and draft a quarterback when it's all said and done. Now, the Steelers are screwed because they don't have a quarterback at all.
The Steelers are seemingly, I mean, the Steelers get to the playoffs. They just don't win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they don't have a quarterback. Are they waiting on Aaron Rodgers?
I hope not.
Which is, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers shows up, man, I think it'd be good for Pittsburgh. But in reality, I just don't see Mike Tomlin getting held hostage by anybody, let alone Aaron Rodgers, although they're there. George Pickens out. He wants to get traded. Could they be trading, a Pickens to Atlanta to get a Kirk Cousins?
Could be. That's a possibility, I would think. And I think, reports today is that Cousins will be on the move somewhere. And I think he wants an opportunity to start again somewhere, wherever that may be. Penix is the guy in Atlanta, so he's not going to be a starter there. I think he'll be on the move. It's going to be interesting. That's what I mean. Even if a lot of stuff doesn't happen tonight in that realm, it's going to happen in the coming days. There's going to be some trades made that you're going to go, wow, that happened. It really did. And so, man,
one way or another, Pittsburgh is going to have a quarterback by Sunday.
Besides Mason Rudolph?
Not named Mason Rudolph. Although Pittsburgh might be the only franchise that likes this guy. And he has won a couple of games there, right?
Sure.
I mean, as much as we're going Mason Rudolph, I mean,
when he came out of Baylor, I thought this guy was going to be. I really thought he was going to be something.
Well, he was at Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. Well, Baylor, yeah. Oklahoma, same thing. Oklahoma State. When he came out of Oklahoma, Baylor State, I thought he was going to be something else. But he didn't turn out to be that way. He did play fairly decent football for the Titans last year when Levis got benched. So,
yeah, but you're comparing it to what you saw from Levis.
Well, geez, dude. I mean, that'd be like me playing against Rudolph. So I don't know. There's no way that's on their minds, right? That Rudolph is going to be the guy. There's got to be somebody else. And if things fall the way reports go right now, that they like Shedeur at 21. So.
I just don't know. Shadeur's not a day one starter.
I don't think so either.
So if Shedeur goes to Pittsburgh at 21, Pittsburgh has not solved their quarterback problem for this coming season, in which they have, I don't know, they make the playoffs every year. They just don't know how to win in the playoffs. But, and Mike Tomlin's always had a winning record, and that's in jeopardy, whether it's Mason Rudolph or Shedeur Sanders, which is where I come back to. It's either Aaron Rodgers or who are they going to make a trade for? But I do figure Pittsburgh will solve their quarterback problem before the end of the weekend, one way or another.
Well, let's hope so for all those Pittsburgh Steelers fans out there that have no hope right now.
Well, there's always hope for a great regular season, kind of like Cowboy fans. It was a great regular season, just nothing in the postseason.
Absolutely.
And it's always fun when Steeler fans give Cowboy fans crap about that.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that happen often?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah. I know a Steeler fan that I could see doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, his name is Kevin Brock. And he just walked into the Roo Pub.
He sure did.
Wearing yellow pants of all things, which is quite disgusting. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Come hang out with us at the Roo Pub. Get ready for the draft tonight. Going to be a blast if you're not near a TV or at the Roo Pub or you're driving over here. All the draft coverage here on 94.1 starting tonight at 6 o'clock. More from the Roo coming up here on the Blitz.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the nation's largest family law firm, but we're more than just size. We're part of your community. With offices across the country, our attorneys and staff live and work right where you do. And because we're local, we know your courts, your laws, and your legal community. When divorce puts your future on the line, you need a firm that's both powerful and personal. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Offices in San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of our firm's San Antonio area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
Hey, it's me, your liver. You know, the organ that helps you recover every weekend at the pizza, donuts, and all those drinks. When you have a headache, you take an aspirin. You have a stomach ache, you pop an antacid. But where's the love for your best buddy, the liver? The least that you could do to help me stay healthy is take Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver tablets contain high-quality, all-natural ingredients like milk thistle, globe artichoke, and turmeric extracts, which are proven to keep me healthy and you feeling your best. Active Liver provides an easy daily detox and helps protect me all year long. So let me make you an offer you can't refuse. You take care of me with Active Liver, and I keep taking care of you. Capiche?
See for yourself why Active Liver is Scandinavia's #1 liver health supplement. You can find Active Liver at CVS and online at Amazon or directly from NewNordicUSA.com. Again, find it in stores at CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Listen up, San Antonio. At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can get college credit for the stripes you've earned. Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted service members and previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Tonight is round one of the NFL Draft. Former UIW quarterback Cam Ward expected to go number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. Cowboys will select at number 12, while the Texans have the 25th overall selection tonight. By the way, you can listen to the draft right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, beginning at 6 right after the Blitz. And the NBA playoffs continue tonight. New York at Detroit, OKC at Memphis, and Denver in LA.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. On this draft day, first day of Fiesta, live out at the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road, with so much going on today.
Absolutely so much going on. Obviously, the NFL Draft is the hot topic of the day, but we got some other football to talk about.
We do. This Sunday is the UFL San Antonio Brahmas home opener, finally, after 4 road games, and they are debuting. Look what just walked in. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the wrongly named mascot for the San Antonio Brahmas, because, you know, when they announced names, I thought they were going to go Blitz after our show.
Well, that's what I thought, too. I thought it was a sure thing, and well, some other people had some other ideas.
Yeah, we can't actually talk to the mascot, which is probably a good thing. But Michelle Bronoff from the San Antonio Brahmas is here. I mean, it's weird that we're at the midway point of the season, yet it's the home opener Sunday against Houston.
We are ready to come home. When I tell you we are ready to come home, we are excited. We're coming off a big win last weekend, right? If you were going to win, that was the game to do it. And we're ready to pack the Alamo Dome, and we need to see everyone out there to support us.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of fans are looking forward to it. And what makes it exciting, and we want Wade back, Coach Wade back, but Peyton Pardee has added a little excitement to this thing, hasn't he?
He rose to the popularity very quickly.
Yeah.
Fans love him. Great inspirational speaker. It's been amazing. We're excited, and everyone's ready to see him, like I said, to just pack the dome on Sunday and have a great game and be home finally.
And be home finally.
Yep.
Kellen Mond playing his first game in San Antonio in forever. And, of course, I remember doing a lot of his games when he was at Reagan High School and, you know, everything that he did at A&M. I know he's excited to come home and play. But it's also Fiesta. Today's the first day of Fiesta. And we've got the new mascot, Bravo. Now, Bravo. Tell us about Bravo, since Bravo can't tell us about Bravo.
I knew this was going to be a great topic with his name. Bravo is our brand new mascot. So we're making some rounds today. He's got his first public appearance Saturday afternoon at the Chaparral Music and Heritage Festival, and then making his big debut at the Sunday home opener. So his name, Bravo, we did a really fun voting contest. You could vote for Bravo, Blitz, of course, as you gentlemen loved, Bowie, inspired by the Alamo, and then Ocho, which is actually what my favorite was Ocho. I thought that was really cool, but it was unanimous. The fans, they have spoken. The herd has spoken, and Bravo is the name.
Well, Bravo, do you like the name Bravo? Yes, I get a thumbs up right there.
What was he going to say? No?
Well, I'm just saying.
Well, we all know
we'll talk later, all right?
San Antonio's Military City, USA. So Bravo is inspired by those strong, deep military connections.
Absolutely, and it looks like Bravo's been doing a lot of push-ups too. I mean, this is one strong bowl. But Viva Fiesta game, the home opener. Now, one thing that I did see, we've got $3 beers pregame.
You saw it already.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have got some fun pregame stuff. So pregame, basically a happy hour before kickoff in the HEB pregame, the FanFest Plaza. You get $3 frozen margaritas and $3 beers. I don't think you can top that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's a hell of a deal.
No, I see anything that says $3 beers, I'm in.
You're in, yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
And of course, I go back with spring football many years. I know what the Dome was like during the Commanders' days. I know what it's been like with the Brahmas. I'm tired of seeing St. Louis crap, beer snakes, and all the other. We got to pack the Dome on Sunday.
We got to pack the Dome. Again, it's our Viva Fiesta, Viva Brahmas game. It's the home opener. This guy's making his big appearance. The team is excited to be home. Fans are ready. There's just a lot of excitement. You got to get there.
What is more exciting?
Yeah.
Is it no offense, Bravo, or the Wade Phillips Fiesta medal that people are more, I don't want to say that they're more interested in trying to grab?
That could be a tough tie, if you will. That Fiesta medal, yes. Coach Wade Phillips, amazing. Inspired by his fun little Fiesta, his Fiesta dance last season. But yeah, so if you are a season ticket member, you get that medal automatically. Benefit of being a season ticket member. If not, you can grab it online at uflbrahmas.com. It's our Ticket Plus medal pack. So last couple of days to get your hands on one.
I tell you what, I don't know who made this or who came, and I know it was from his dance last year, but this is genius.
So
cute. This is the most unique Fiesta medal I think I've ever seen.
It's his best, cumbia dance, if you will. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. And all the best for Wade on a speedy recovery.
Yes.
But the Fiesta medal will certainly, that's one of those Fiesta medals. Like people are going to want that. UFLbrahmas.com. Get your tickets, get your medal, go to the game. And Sunday, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know just with all the changes in the Alamo Dome and the in-game experience, I just know some of the stuff you guys have been working on. I don't know what we can talk about, what we can't, but
let's throw some stuff out.
Elevated game experience.
Yeah, so for this game in particular, we've got, because it's Fiesta theme, we've got folklorico dancers, we've got Mateo singing the national anthem. If you want to come and get tickets, great. If you want to elevate your game day, get a premium experience. Join us on our Lone Star Club or our Viva Party deck. We've got our bullpen, which is like on the suite or on the field, level experience where you get access to the field, access to food and beverage. There's any way you want to style your game day. We've got options for you.
Michelle Bronoff from the San Antonio Brahmas. Appreciate you stopping by with Bravo.
I love it. Thanks,
Bravo,
guys.
Thanks for coming.
Yes.
Bravo.
We'll see you Sunday in the Dome.
2 p.m.
Appreciate it.
See you then.
2
Thanks.
p.m. kickoff. Get your tickets at UFLbrahmas.com. And we'll see you Sunday. Did I mention they're doing $3 beer and margarita before the game for an hour?
That's what I just heard, and that is fantastic. And you got to get down there for that.
You do.
You have to.
I mean, that's going to be incredible.
Man, that is incredible. The Dome's going to be rocking on Sunday. I don't think there's any question about it.
Got to get down here to the Roo Pub as well as we get ready for the draft tonight. But before then, let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. 2 guys, 2 opinions, never enough time.
Did you see they're putting a carport over the Alamo?
Dude, I saw that picture and I'm going, what in the world are they doing? But I guess it's necessary for what they're doing.
They're doing some roof work on the Alamo, but this is and so obviously you've got to do everything you can to protect it. You can't just pull the roof off and leave it exposed, weather, all that kind of stuff. But it literally looks like a 1970s style carport. Quite frankly, looks like Greg Shelton's house.
I'm sure it does.
A damn carport over the Alamo.
Well, look, I don't know who built, but that's a big carport.
Yeah, well,
that thing's huge. And, you got to protect the Alamo. So that's good that they're doing that. They built that thing. Now they're going to redo the roof, I guess, right? Or something.
Replace the roof.
Replace it.
So I just think it looks odd. And I feel
it does.
like for the next couple of years, all the people are going to have pictures of the Alamo, and it's going to be that.
With the carport over it. Well, I think that's a tourist attraction in itself. I mean, I want to go see it.
Yeah,
I want to take a shot of that.
You need
sure.
your picture with the Alamo carport?
Well, yeah. If the Texans would have had that back in the old days, maybe El Santa Ana wouldn't have taken advantage of them.
That's a really bad analogy. A carport's it's not a protective shield.
They could have put that big cannons under there. You know what I mean?
Oh, they had big cannons.
Well, they did.
That were there.
Well, they could
that
have
would have
more.
been under there.
Yeah, work with me here, will you?
I'm trying to. Exactly. Fletch. Exactly. Paige Bucket's up in Dallas now. Of course, one of the biggest stars coming out of this year's draft college basketball going into the WNBA. She gets introduced at a press conference in Dallas, and kind of like Caitlin Clark last year. Now, not near as creepy, and I don't think the intent was quite the same. But listen to the question, and more importantly, her answer yesterday at a press conference in Dallas.
Probably the hottest thing in Dallas right now.
I mean, I would say the weather's probably hotter than me. So different than Connecticut and Minnesota, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
She handled that well. She handled that well. But what's interesting about that is the reporters, little horn dogs, right? I mean, you got Caitlin Clark's guy who is probably she's in protective custody from this guy.
Yeah. And
then you got this dude.
Well, I think just the excitement level and, the jokes that, they won't trade her no matter what. I don't think he meant it as, damn, you're hot. Well, he didn't call her shiny.
Well, he called her hot, which is worse.
He said the hottest thing in Dallas.
Well,
which is,
think about that. What Wemby's introductory press conference? Somebody say, "Hey, Wemby, you're a good-looking dude, buddy."
No, but you're the hottest thing in San Antonio. I think the intent was okay.
All right.
It just didn't come across as well. And again, the jokes about they've already promised never to trade her away. Now, the University of Houston had a great run to the Final Four, and they had a celebration last night with, I guess, the team and those close to. And Tillman Fertitta was speaking at this. Now, of course, he's a big UH donor, owner of the Houston Rockets, has casinos. And he was telling a story about visiting with President Trump, talking about the Cougars. And
I was in the White House, in the Oval Office, with the Prime Minister of Italy and the President last Thursday. And we talked about the Houston Cougars, I can promise you, for at least a minute and a half. And then we talked about that dumbass Luke Doncic trade that Dallas did.
Well, you know what? There's no better way to put that, because that's exactly what it was. Although Tillman better be careful, because the first time he makes one of those dumb trades, he's going to get hammered too. But that's man, oh man.
Yeah, can you imagine? Hey guys, I talked to the president about you for a whole 90 seconds, and then what the hell's going on with the Dallas Mavericks and that Luke?
Hilarious.
It is funny. And Copper's Cove's finest, RG3. Apparently set to join Fox as a college football analyst next season. He'll be on their number 2 team.
Happy that he's back in the biz and is going to be back calling college football and doing all of that stuff. Good guy, very good guy, and he's got a lot of good knowledge.
He does, and really good doing games on that television. So good for RG3. Come hang out with us here at the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road. A lot of draft talk coming up, and we're not ignoring the NBA playoffs. We'll talk some NBA playoffs as well here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you travel as much as the San Antonio sports guys travel, while you're on the road, be sure to take us along. Listen to the 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star live stream anywhere on the Odyssey radio app.
Big cash giveaway, yeah. $250,000, yes. The next 10 months, GimmeTheVin.com is giving back. Everyone that sells us their car gets put in the drawing, and monthly we're pulling out $25,000 and giving it to you. So not only are we the top of the market buyer, but you got a chance to win $25,000. That's what we mean by big cash giveaway. GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call us America's best car buyer for nothing.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
It's
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. Your San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for the Viva Fiesta Viva Brahmas home opener this Sunday, April 27th at 2 p.m. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Get your tickets today at uflbrahmas.com. That's uflbrahmas.com for tickets. Our town, our team, our herd.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow. That is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Wilco, live in concert. Sweet and Sour Spring 2025. VSB May 6th. With special guest, Waxahachie. Wilco. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit wilcoworld.net.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
I'm AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6. Your early morning wake-up call on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix, live at the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road. Want to thank the San Antonio Brahmas for dropping by with the Wade Phillips Fiesta medals.
And some football cookies.
Well, the cookies, it's not only football, but there's also Now, do we call these Brahma cookies or are these Bravo cookies since the mascot is on this one?
Well, that's got to be a Bravo cookie.
It's the Bravo Brahma.
The Bravo Brahma.
Could have been a Blitz cookie.
Now, I hate to do this, but I'm going to anyway.
What?
Well, it's got stuff inside.
Well, it does.
Does it?
No, I think
No,
it's
it
just a
doesn't.
sugar cookie. You're just going to eat on the air, huh?
Delicious.
I mean, you act like you've done like 9 hours of radio today. I mean, you need a sugar cookie high to get the energy rolling for the rest of this after having to wake up early.
Wouldn't hurt.
Look at that. You're about to lose your Fiesta.
I am.
Ashley's like, I'm stealing this.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, be careful. It might be her tip today. She's awesome, man. She always takes really good care of us. The sugar cookie's delicious, by the way. Thank you, San Antonio Brahmas.
I will eat mine in the commercial break.
All right. Well, I had to taste it. I mean, everybody was waiting to see.
Oh, were they?
Sure.
Were they waiting to see? Or you're like, that cheeseburger I had, I didn't finish my fries, but maybe I should have.
Maybe I should have. Although, no, this is just like dessert.
Thank Gilbert P. on our
yummy
our YouTube channel. Joe needs some Red Bull infused Jello shots.
I actually feel pretty good. I really do. Just running on adrenaline, maybe because of everything that's happening today. I still haven't even opened my energy shot yet. I'll do that later.
Your third one of the day coming up.
No.
How many cups of coffee to get through, AJ Hoffman?
I had 4 cups of coffee this morning to get through that, and
I feel bad for your toilet.
Needed some, you're dealing with AJ Hoffman. You needed some Pepto-Bismol, some Tums, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That
some
guy.
Charmin. Yeah. No, I get it. Makes all the sense in the world.
It's all good. All
good. I'm sure the boss really does appreciate you getting up this morning and filling in.
No, it was honestly. I mean, a day like today, it's one of those days that I again feel pretty good. You think I'd be tired? I'm not. I feel good. I'm excited for the draft. Excited to be talking about what might happen tonight. And I'm ready to go.
Well, so we'll get to the draft in a moment. In fact, RJ Ochoa will join us at 3:35. But let's talk about some NBA playoffs last night. No JT, no problem for the Celtics. They take care of Orlando. Cavs over the Miami Heat now 2-0. And the Rockets, well, they blow out the Golden State Warriors, although Jimmy Butler got hurt in that game.
He only played 8 minutes, and he's got a bruised pelvis, we understand. Luckily for the Warriors, they don't play for another 2 days. But I think the Rockets figured him out last night. Watching that game, the Rockets just got physical with them. Then they started bullying the Warriors. And I just don't think the Warriors can respond to that, especially without Jimmy Butler. But that's what they did. They played bully ball, and it worked out great.
And you look at that and you go, okay, really? Not only were they physical, but the crowd was mean, especially to Draymond Green, according to one Steve Kerr.
It's not ideal when a crowd is, chanting "F you, Draymond." It's just, I don't know. I mean, they did it in Boston a few years ago in the finals. It is what it is. He's been around forever. He's an instigator. He's always going to be in the mix, and because of his career, his championships, his fire, he's going to be a lightning rod, and that's all part of it. I would prefer, if fans could use a little more discretion and, remember that, the guy has kids and, it's like there's kids. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school, but I'm all for the fans cheering for their team. And if they want to yell at the opponents, great. But I just think FU is a little much.
Don't worry about it, Steve. Next year, you'll be here in San Antonio where it's wholesome and nice.
That's not who we are. Knock off the booing.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot like that guy.
Just stop. All of it. Stop, Steve Kerr. And quite frankly, all Steve Kerr did was ramp up for the next time Draymond is on the road. You've just given the blueprint as if it was needed to what really gets under his skin.
Well, and look, dude, I'm going to tell you, Draymond is a villain. That's what he does. He plays that part perfectly. It's what he does. And so I don't think Draymond took any offense to that. And, there are kids in the arena, and maybe that's something.
And they're screaming it too.
I'm sure they are. It's okay this time,
especially
son.
in Houston.
Yeah.
Come on.
I just, hey, Draymond brings this on himself, so he's got nobody to blame but him.
Well, I mean, although Steve Kerr wasn't the only coach that was whining yesterday. Of course, the athletic poll that came out the other day, Tyrese Halliburton was voted as the most overrated player in the NBA. Rick Carlisle, he called BS on that.
I heard about this. The other guys on the list were Jimmy Butler and Giannis. And I want to see the guys' faces that voted those guys. I want to see the faces of those guys. All right? This is a bullshit poll. Not everybody even answered in the poll. All right? Guys were able to answer if they wanted to. They were asked on camera or with a microphone. The whole thing's bullshit. Okay? And it's just it's really a shameful thing. It's just a shameful thing. All right? Jimmy Butler would be a finalist for MVP if he had gotten to Golden State a month and a half earlier. I mean, what that guy's done. And Giannis, are you kidding me? I'm done. Thank you.
Playoffs? Are you kidding me? Look, whatever. Hey, Tyrese Halliburton went out and played his butt off in game 2 after that poll came out. So he ought to be very happy that poll came out, and his star player played well.
Yeah, it is what it is. Now, there are 3 games tonight, although, quite honestly, depending on what they have on here at the Roo, I'm certainly not intently watching any of these. Knicks and Pistons, OKC and Memphis. The late game tonight, Nuggets, Clippers, and the draft first round should be over by the time that rolls into the second half. Maybe if you're coherent, you can catch the end of that one. I don't know why the NBA just doesn't punt tonight, make it a travel day for everybody, because tonight is all about the National Football League.
All about the National Football League. They can't do it, though. They got to get it done and play ball. And, it's their problem. Going up against the NFL has not been good for the NBA. So they're trying it again tonight, and it's not going to be good for them tonight.
It really isn't. Now, staying in basketball, we had Wemby sightings in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Very encouraging Wemby sightings. Video all over the place today of Wemby on vacation and playing soccer with a bunch of kids. Now, watching Wemby play soccer, now granted, it was kids, so he looked more giant than he normally does, but the athlete that he is, and I'm not a soccer aficionado, and I realize the footwork that it takes to play soccer, but watching him play soccer, and the first thing I thought was, all right, must be off the blood thinners, because that is a contact sport, so he's not worried about that, which is a good sign, just how naturally gifted he is, but just dude's on vacation. And I was reading an article, apparently he rented out some sports complex and wanted to have a game with all these kids, and then took pictures and signed autographs for all these kids that were at this facility in Costa Rica as a part of his vacation.
Look, that's just who he is. But, you can think about a guy like Wemby going to Costa Rica. It's not like you and me going to Costa Rica. You and I would be 3 sheets to the wind and wouldn't be able to play soccer with anybody, much less a bunch of kids. And so Wemby, he doesn't drink, and he's
don't know that he doesn't drink. He grew up in France.
Well, I'm just saying.
I mean, he just wasn't all liquored up by lunch.
Exactly.
Right?
You wait till lunch to get all liquored up?
No. I might be all liquored up by lunch. That's not when I start to drink. Well, really depends on the night before. I don't know.
It's a good sign either way. He's out there playing, and he looks like he's back to 100%.
I mean, even if you were sober in Costa Rica, which would never happen, but if you were, would you go play soccer?
No, I would not. Get out of here, kids. Get off my lawn. Damn kids.
Get off my lawn.
The fact that they were playing soccer on the lawn.
Exactly.
And again, it's a great sign that he is doing better, because the first thing I thought of is he must be off those blood thinners, must be good, because he's playing a contact sport. Now, even if they had rules like kids don't touch me, that was the other thing. Like, don't be some kid trying to slide tackle Wemby right now. Because,
no, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't do that.
But I thought it was very encouraging.
I think it's great. And Wemby's a good guy. He's out there entertaining those kids, and I'm sure they were thrilled.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm glad he goes to Costa Rica for vacation.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of kids, we got RJ Ochoa coming up.
We do.
Did you see his tweet earlier?
He tweets 48 times a minute.
Well,
which one in particular?
This one in particular. RJ's very excited about the draft, and I got to ask him about this, but he says, wouldn't it be nice if the Cowboys had a great draft? I mean, almost like a kid wishing upon a star, sitting on Santa Claus's lap, making 3 wishes to a genie, all of the above. Wouldn't it be nice if the Cowboys had a great draft?
Well,
RJ Ochoa.
Yeah, that would be nice. It's what we're all hoping for.
Dude, he sounded like a 10-year-old.
We're going to be selectively aggressive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, the selectively aggressive 10-year-old RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com joins us next here on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. If you need caps made, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom. And he's got all the popular cap brands like Katie Caps, Nike Cap America, the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps in stock. If you need t-shirts screen printed, Sam will get you taken care of. You need your logo on a nice golf shirt, a fishing shirt, go see Sam. In fact, he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround, while today is the first day of Fiesta. If you're going, oh, I forgot something, Sam will get you taken care of. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. All kinds of industries. Go see Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. No order too big, no order too small. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle. Who's the newest Cowboy? Who's going to be drafted tomorrow? We'll talk about that. Plus, we've got NBA playoffs still in full swing. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Spring is here, and in South Texas, that means storms, wind, rain, and hail. If you've been hit by a storm or think you have damage, now is the time to contact Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. Don't put your trust in an out-of-town storm chaser. Stevens Roofing is a family-owned, locally based company who will be here for years to come. The team at Stevens Roofing and Solar will give you peace of mind when the storms come rolling in. Call 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
Hey, San Antonio, multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATS.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with turbo power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-351-4596. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-351-4596. 800-351-4596. 800-351-4596.
Let's qualify for enrollment. Results vary. Consult with your tax professional prior to enrollment.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Draft day. It is the Blitz on at 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Along with Joe Reinagel, I'm Jason Minix. Live at the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road as we get ready for the draft tonight. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. You can also see him if you're watching on our YouTube channel. And the man wants to be Dak Prescott more than anybody I know. Dak was wearing a hat that said lineman at Tyron Smith's press conference the other day announcing his retirement, and everybody went to the internet to find where they could buy one, and RJ Ochoa did exactly that. He's got it on right now. I hope that isn't a sign of what you're hoping the Cowboys do tonight in the first round at 12 overall, and that's take a lineman.
Well, it's great to be with 2 of my great friends, in Jason Minix and Joe Reinagel. I'm disappointed that neither of you addressed me as Masters champion, considering I won the pool that I invited you both to. But,
yeah, I forgot about that.
Whatever. That being said, this hat was a gift from Lineman Lead the Way. And so I'm very grateful for all sorts of gifts that I can receive. But I'm trying to opposite manifest things tonight because I'm with you. I do not want a lineman at 12. That would be so boring, so dull. I want absolutely no part of that whatsoever.
So, RJ, we're talking about what the Cowboys should do if they stay at 12, and let's assume that they do. I am sold on Ted McMillan. I think this guy would be an outstanding pickup for the Dallas Cowboys just because of his size, because of his hands, and because of the things that he can do. And there's debate about whether Matthew Golden should be the guy or maybe draft a running back. How do you feel about those 2 wide receivers first and foremost?
Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. Ted McMillan should be the pick in my view. If we acknowledge that Travis Hunter lives in his own box and don't rank him anywhere else, I would say that Ted McMillan is the best wide receiver in the class. Now, he is very different than Matthew Golden in that Ted is sort of sort of Des Bryant reincarnated, this big body, physical, ex-receiver, red zone guy, jump ball, go up and get it. Or Matthew Golden, who played for a team that should have been called for targeting in the Peach Bowl and not have their season continue. Matthew Golden is more of a route runner, more of a specialist in that capacity, more of somebody who could take the top off of the defense. And while I think the Cowboys could benefit more from the archetype that Ted McMillan offers, if you are being literal, I think we all understand here that none of us think this is smart. You could argue that the Cowboys have the archetype that McMillan is by way of Jonathan Mingo. They are very similar from an athletic standpoint, very similar from an attribute standpoint, but they don't really have anybody like Matthew Golden. Yes, CeeDee Lamb lines up all over the field, but the only real speedster they have is Kevontae Turpin. And while he is involved on offense, he's obviously not predominantly an offensive player.
And what you just said is not all 6'4" wide receivers are the same, which is why even though they did trade a 4th-round pick for a Jonathan Mingo, there's all this talk about T-Mac. Now, I was really high on T-Mac, even though he went to the wrong school in Arizona, until I saw the snippet of the interview where he talked about not loving football. Now, I'm trying to come off like my quarterback has to love football and watch film. Do I need that from a wide receiver? Because I'm trying to convince myself to be excited about this pick. And I would be, can they teach them to love football? How much of a concern is that snippet from one interview that he did? How much of a concern is that for you at pick number 12?
Well, you called him T-Mac, which I appreciate as a child of the 90s. Even as a San Antonio Spurs fan, you know, Tracy McGrady was one of my dudes, right? I had the T-Mac shoes like everybody else. And I think that maybe I'm getting older here to where I'm saying things like I'm about to. I think that's just kind of a thing that the younger generation feels and offers, is that, hey, my life is about more than football and I do more. I'm a brand. I'm not even saying that that's necessarily what it is, but I don't think that that's that's the hard left turn that it used to be. Now, I will say the example I'm going to offer you is not going to help this point, but the last dude to say that in that sort of way, the Cowboys took in the first round, and Mozzie Smith. He said, yeah, I don't like to play football. I just like to hit people, and football offers that opportunity. So I don't know that you can teach someone to love it, but I honestly don't care if he loves it. If he's really good at it, there's a lot of things that people don't love that they happen to be good at. And so if you could benefit off of his skills, that's what matters the most.
Well, absolutely. I just think it's a no-brainer. If the Cowboys stay at 12 and McMillan's there at 12, they have to take that guy. Jerry's all over the place, as he usually is, and they've been pretty consistent about not moving up in the draft, but moving back in the draft is certainly a possibility. I guess that would be okay, and either Golden or McMillan could be available later in the draft a little bit, although that you're rolling the dice when you do that. I think linemen and running backs you can get later in the draft. These type of wide receivers, I just don't think you can.
Yeah, look, there's certainly value to building in the trenches. And in this moment, people, reference teams like Philadelphia and cite how well built they are in those capacities. And I don't think anybody is saying that that's dumb or that's stupid or you shouldn't, put or invest resources into building up your offensive or defensive line. That being said, you are really short of toys, right? Like you're shopping for your kid right now, and yeah, they need some new socks, they need some new shoes, but they've got the same stuffed rabbit they've been playing with for 3 years now. Like, you really kind of get them something new to play with. And so I'm honestly, I love McMillan, and that would be my preferred outcome tonight. But if they trade back and they pick up a 3rd-round pick, they pick up, who knows, a 4th-round pick, the one they squandered by way of Jonathan Mingo, and you have to settle for Matthew Golden, you have to settle for Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State, that's fine. I mean, would I have preferred McMillan over those players straight up? Absolutely. But if you're getting that appreciation on the value, if you're trading down, that's a really, really, really good thing. And that's where we all have questions about what's going to happen with Shedeur Sanders or Jackson Dart. You really want one of these teams to love a quarterback and feel desperate like they have to come up to get him. So I'm okay with moving back. But, yeah, taking a lineman is just again, we've gotten the same things we need all the time, and you're not really doing anything with those things you got anyway. At least let us have some fun. Get us a toy every once in a while.
RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. You say that. we get mad at Jerry because, he wants the shiny object and all that. And if they go lineman, I wouldn't be excited, but I wouldn't be angry. But also, I think it is smart. You got a new head coach in Brian Schottenheimer. Jerry needs Schottenheimer to be successful because that makes him look smarter for rolling the dice on a guy like Schotty. Offensive coach, Dak Prescott, you've invested $60 million in a year in. You just paid CeeDee Lamb. You need to get that guy weapons. That's why I keep saying it's got to be a wide receiver or running back. But here over the last 24, 48 hours, so many mock drafts and different NFL insiders seem to be indicating that lineman could be the choice for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and that's terrifying. Look, the Cowboys have some benefit of the doubt, and that's what comes up, right? People say like, oh, well, they look at the dudes they've drafted in the first round, and that's true, right? We just celebrated 2 of them in retirement press conferences here lately, but they also drafted Tyler Guyton last year, and we have some serious questions about him. So I don't know that you can just fully trust fall and believe that you're going to be totally fine. And that being said, when do they go out and get the shiny toy? Like you said that Jerry gets criticized for doing that, taking the big swing. Like, what is the big swing that they've taken, on anything? Like, obviously the Dak deal and the CD deal, and we could sit here for forever and talk about how broken those were from a process standpoint anyway. But I mean, this is almost necessary at this point in time. They don't have any. It is. I say this with all due respect. It is CeeDee Lamb, R.J. Ochoa, Jason Minix, and Joe Reinagle for all intents and purposes in the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver room. So you have to have somebody. You have to have that ability, and you are in all likelihood not going to be picking this high again. Like you have to take advantage of that moment and of that opportunity, and they haven't done that. And the last point on this that I actually really liked from David Moore, and a congratulations to him on his retirement. He had the last question in the pre-draft press conference, and he asked Schottenheimer, do you feel like there's any sort of symbolism to this pick? Because it's the first draft pick that you have with you being the head coach. And Tyron Smith was the first draft pick and Jason Garrett there. And that really kind of set the tone for what that whole era was. And so you can't take a guard out of North Dakota State. Like, you just can't. Like, that can't be your, like, flag planting, like, I'm the badass head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. You got to go get somebody who's going to score some touchdowns.
Alabama, though. What about a guard from Alabama?
That helps, but, I mean, it's still not planting a flag. Like, I want to see them, like, Baker Mayfield plant a flag in the middle. This would be like, you're in a closest to the pin contest, and you're putting a little
AstroTurf. It didn't stick. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, RJ, hopefully Jerry does the right thing and all the Joneses do the right thing. If McMillan's there, they got to take this guy. Look, the last shiny object they took, if you guys correct me if I'm wrong, is CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
And that worked out pretty well.
And he was criticized for it.
Yeah, a lot of people did not like that pick at the time, and it's worked out pretty well for the Dallas Cowboys. They've got him a number 1 wide receiver who's a very rich man these days. So, look, I just think I'm with you. I think that has to happen. All right. McMillan's the first pick. We go into tomorrow. What are you looking for tomorrow? Are you looking for that lineman? Are you looking for a corner? Or are you looking for a running back in the 2nd and 3rd round?
We've done a lot of exercises over the last few months at Blogging the Boys to try to figure out the best amalgamation of coming away with a wide receiver, a corner, and a running back. And, you could only do so many mock drafts, but trying to figure out what the best permutation is. And honestly, look, running backs don't matter to the point that like a Phil Danaher offense would suggest, but they are important and you do need them. You need them to be talented people. And so I'm fine spending a 2nd round pick because look, people can make their jokes and their clips and they can say whatever about Dak Prescott and how much help does he need. He needs a lot because NFL quarterbacks all need a lot of help. How much help does Jalen Hurts have? Look at Patrick Mahomes. He needs help. And so that being said, if they walk away from round 2 tomorrow and have Ted McMillan or Matthew Golden, pick whichever receiver you want, and say a Travion Henderson out of Ohio State, now you have a pass-catching running back. You have all of these weapons that not only help Dak, but they make life easier, as you mentioned, Joe, for CD, for Jake Ferguson. Hey, now Jalen Tolbert, he doesn't have to be the guy. He can contribute in different ways, in different capacities. So as much as I feel like they need help at corner, and I'm fine with them addressing the position in the 3rd round, I really think that this has to be your offensive draft, especially with your offensive head coach, who's your offensive play caller. You have to reestablish that identity and get away from the Rico Dowdles and Zeke Elliott's of the world. Again, all due respect.
RJ Ochoa, bloggingtheboys.com, dropping in a Cal Allen Wildcat reference on the way out because Danaher maybe throws it 3 times a game because he has to, not because he wants to. With the idea of running back, and I'm with you, receiver, running back, they've got to go get at some point at the end of the weekend. There's not been chaos yet, but there will be chaos. Breece Hall's name is mentioned. The Jets are trying to shop him. I like that idea, except for Breece Hall has 1 year left on his deal, and then he's going to get paid. And if the Cowboys are going all in, you might do that and figure out if you're going to pay him a year from now or not. George Pickens, apparently, he's unfollowed the Steelers on Instagram, and he's getting traded. If they addressed one of the needs that we all feel like they need to, and that's running back and receiver, with a trade, especially if it's for a third-day pick, like the Breece Hall reports are indicating, would you be upset with that, or would you think that'd be an interesting one-year move for the Cowboys?
It certainly depends on what happens, and I know that's a fence-riding answer, but, if they don't go receiver tonight, and, I don't know, say something wild happens and Ashton Genty falls or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there are doors that you just walk through that you weren't anticipating. I think City was one of those 5 years ago, like Al mentioned. But, if they are responsible about it, if they ultimately address these needs, I'm okay. Like, however it is, if you draft a receiver and trade for Breece Hall, that's fine. Again, if we're talking a day 3 pick being the price here. If you decide to draft your running back tomorrow and you trade for George Pickens, do I love these ideas? No, but if you're also beefing up the interior of your offensive line, if you're adding an edge rusher, if you're adding Walter Nolan at defensive tackle, like if you are still coming away with somebody who's going to make a seismic difference, because if we think about it, for 2 years in a row now, they have not gotten seismic differences or contributions from their first-round pick. And since this is a team that doesn't like to be involved in free agency, that is the most premium asset that they have across the whole of the offseason. You're talking about the biggest swing. You're standing on the tee box, and I don't mean to keep using golf analogies, but it's the club that goes the farthest, and you're just duffing it 30 yards. So you're setting yourself up to be behind from the jump. So as long as they put themselves in position in a strong way tonight, I really am fine with what they want to do in any direction. I love to kill the Cowboys. I know that. But I do think that they've set themselves up well, at the very least from a quantitative standpoint. They have, multiple directions they can go in and still be okay. But they just can't sit back and do nothing. You can't not draft your wide receiver and then not trade for George Pickens and not add to the position at all. You have to come away from this weekend with help at those spots.
Well, yeah, I'm against the Breece Hall thing because I think there's too many good running backs in this draft that the Cowboys can get, and you don't have to turn around and either get rid of him or pay him a fortune after that. I just think there's too many running backs. I think a Breece Hall trade would be a mistake by the Cowboys at this point in time with what we've got looking at in the draft coming up. So that's just my 2 cents when it goes there. Look at the draft in the entirety because there's been so many rumors, RJ. Ashton Genty is a hot topic, right? That the Bears want to trade up to 5 and get him. The Raiders have shown interest in him. I contend that the New England Patriots can be had for that 4th pick. I think they would be willing to trade back to the Raiders or somebody that wants to slide in there for Genty. Do you think those teams that are interested in Ashton Genty, is he worth the move in your mind?
I think that we're in a weird prisoner of the moment time where everyone is looking at what the Eagles did. And I know that's what Ashton wrote about. Was it in the Players Tribune or whatever? Like, I'm going to be that for you. Not everybody can do that. You know what I mean? Like we can all put on the bat suit, but we don't all have the physical abilities that even Bruce Wayne had. You know what I mean? So I don't know that any of these teams are in the position that, a running back, even of that quality, could elevate to the ultimate degree. I think it's easy, though, to fall in love with the idea that you're just that away, especially not just with Saquon, but with Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones and all these, players who had these renaissance, Josh Jacobs' career years last year, I should say. So the only singular person who I would trust to make that gamble is Ben Johnson, because he has shown an ability to be that creative individually. There's no way in hell I trust Ashton Genty with the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's definitely no way in hell that I trust him with the Las Vegas Raiders. But if Ben Johnson says, I want Ashton Genty, I trust that he is going to exhaust him. I trust that Ashton Genty is going to come off the field every game and be like, dude, this guy played me 500 snaps, and I just don't even know other ways that I could be used. So that's the only world I think that it truly makes sense. It is still a running back. It is still not a premium position. It has kind of come around. We can all, multiple things can be true, but you have other needs if you're a team, and you have other ways that you have to kind of play the game. And so it's a slippery slope.
RJ Ochoa, bloggingtheboys.com here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First day of the NFL draft tonight, round 1. You had a tweet earlier. I don't have it in front of me. I'm paraphrasing.
I do.
But, you've got it in front of you? You want to read it?
Oh, it was going to be my final question to RJ. RJ, I'll just ask you, what if the Dallas Cowboys have the best draft ever?
Hey, man. I mean, look.
What is the best draft
all
ever?
live in a world. We all live in a world where the Chicago Cubs have won the World Series, where Rory McIlroy has won the Masters and completed the career Grand Slam. And Rory doing that made me think like the dumbest sports things that I think are possible are within reach. Like they can happen. Those crazy, impossible dreams can happen. And so, look, you can, I think grading the draft is great for traffic. And so I will do it and we'll beat that horse all day long. But it's stupid to say this time next week that one team did or didn't do well. I have said for a few months now that the Cowboys are acting like a real NFL team. And it is sad, don't get me wrong, that the bar is so low that this is like impressive. You know what I mean? That I am standing and applauding for doing the bare minimum. But that's where we're at. And you got to crawl before you can walk. And so that's kind of how I feel about the Cowboys. They truly are Michael Scott at the Michael Scott Paper Company, and we are Pam. We've told them all you got to do right now is put pants on. And they put pants on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so this was what I asked you to do. You put pants on. Great. Now let's go eat some breakfast. Let's eat some pancakes. Let's pour some orange juice. And we can do that. Yes, the corporate people in the real world are making big time decisions. We're not on that level yet. All right, I understand who Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman and who they were and what they did for this organization. We're so far in the mud relative to those teams. Right now, we just got to focus on getting out. And so I don't want to say I've turned a new leaf, but if I'm going to objectively criticize them when they do really stupid things, I think it's fair to say, you know what? You're no longer facing completely due south. Like, believe me, this has not turned more than like 3 or 4 degrees, but it is no longer completely 180 downward. And they have my most bare minimum level of respect for that.
All right, fair enough. You're like a kid on Christmas trying to get that shiny new toy, and you've written to Santa Claus. You know what you want. Do you think the Cowboys will meet your expectation tonight at number 12?
I think they will. And if anything, I don't in any way trust that they have turned a new leaf and that they're trying really hard or anything like that. But if I believe anything has worked, it's that I believe we have annoyed them and that they are just like, you think we can't draft a good receiver? Okay. You know, I mean, and like, if you read the tea leaves, it is I hate to all due respect like 6 times, because I really do respect these people. But all due respect to Paris Campbell, he's the only addition that they've made at wide receiver. They have not, the other positions they've addressed, and we can debate the quality of those moves, but they have done them in serious quantitative ways. So this is the one spot that they have sort of purposefully left dry. And I can't imagine that they did that because they weren't going to draft anybody. So I will say that they draft Ted McMillan and they call him T-Mac, and the shoes get to be worn again, and it's awesome. And Joe and I get to be really happy, and we get to make fun of how he went to the worst school in the history of the world.
Absolutely. And then we watch him catch touchdown passes. How about that?
That's the key. First day of Fiesta, the NFL draft. RJ, grab your Fiesta medals, your chicken on the stick, and enjoy the draft tonight, my friend.
I will enjoy. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you each eat something tasty today.
Well, we've already done that. We're at the Roo Pub, and we will do that again as we watch the draft here tonight. What's that?
The pulled pork. That's the best thing they have.
Yeah, or the wings or the fried shrimp.
Right. There's a variety.
Yeah. Burgers.
I didn't say it's the only good thing. I said it's the best thing they have. The pulled pork.
All right.
RJ, you got plenty of time to get up here, my friend. Although you're probably going to be busy at bloggingtheboys.com all night long. Enjoy.
That's the plan.
Appreciate you. RJ Ochoa, bloggingtheboys.com on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. More from the Roo Pub coming up. Your comments, what do you think the Cowboys will do, should do? Two different questions. Let's talk about it here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Good morning, you're on the air.
Boy, I got to tell you, I love your show because it's so educational. I learn something every week. I was shopping about a month ago.
Yeah?
I bought a pineapple, and somebody tried to mount me in all three at Sam's Club, and I didn't know what was going on. Oh, my God. Worse than that, last summer, I bought a guava, and I can't even talk about what happened.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Easy Cater. It's all the food for your workplace, all in one place. With over 100,000 restaurants nationwide on one platform. Whether you need food for company meetings or events, daily employee lunches, or your next lunch and learn, Easy Cater makes food for work, work. And it doesn't stop at lunch. With Easy Cater, you've got great breakfast options, snacks, treats, and more. Whenever and wherever work happens, Easy Cater's here to make the food happen. Order now at easycater.com.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-444-2013. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-444-2013. That's 800-444-2013 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with turbo power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation.
Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row.
Groundworks is the official foundation repair company of Texas Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, UIW stand up and cheer. It appears your former quarterback Cam Ward is going to go number 1 overall in the NFL draft tonight to the Tennessee Titans. Cowboys selected 12, Texans at 25. You can hear it all right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It begins at 6 right after the Blitz. And there's NBA playoffs tonight. OKC travels to Memphis. New York is at Detroit. And Los Angeles, the Clippers host Denver.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Draft day. First day of Fiesta. It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix, live at the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. Well, we want you to come hang out with us. You can watch us on YouTube, all the apps, online. It's draft day, man. It's like Christmas.
Hey, I see all these reserve signs on these tables. One of those ours?
No, we're over yonder.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we're going to push 9 and 10 together.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, because, people are smart.
Should we, put reserve signs on those?
We probably should.
I would think so.
You push those together?
Yeah.
Yeah. Greg Shelton was going to do that like 2 hours ago. But,
he was, huh?
Eventually.
Yeah, okay.
Eventually.
Just checking. I just want to make sure
you've got your seat later?
That's all I care about.
You're selfish.
That's exactly right.
Well,
I'll just go put a reserve sign on that chair right there.
Well, let's just take one off at 13 and just move it.
Exactly. I could do that. Wow.
You just realized tables are numbered.
Well, they are. No, I see the numbers on there. I just didn't know where 13 was. It's right here in front of us.
Yeah, right there. Right
that's
there.
That, which is normally our table, by the way. I mean, so I kind of feel, a little slighted, but it's okay.
Yeah, somebody called ahead.
I know.
We can move them. We can take our table.
All right.
Like I've said many times to Chip, I should have my name on a chair here. And for a small fee, I could have that.
I'm sure you could.
Yes. Wouldn't do you any good.
Chip would be happy to do that for you.
Yes.
Yeah, for a small fee.
As we get ready for the draft tonight, now's the time to call your shot. And kind of like our conversation with RJ Ochoa, will the Cowboys do what you think they're going to do, or what do you want? What do you expect? Because those could be two very different things. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. You can tweet us at Joe Reinagel 210, tweet at Jason Minix. Don't call us tomorrow and say you knew it all along.
We won't believe you.
Yeah, we won't. We will not believe you. We need to hear from you on this kind of call your shot kind of day, like Pete's dialing in at 656 ESPN. Hey, Pete, what do you think the Cowboys are going to do tonight?
They're going to trade down, and they're going to pick up Tyler Booker.
They're going to do what?
They're going to trade down.
All right.
And get Tyler Booker, Alabama.
Yeah. No, so you think guard. Is that what you want them to do, or is that what you think they're going to do?
That's what I think Jerry Jones is going to do. He's not going to keep the 12. He's going to he's going to bypass best player available.
Wow, I tell you what. Well, look, maybe, and you could be right. I'm saying you're wrong. I just think it's going to be a big mistake if you let one of these wide receivers go. I feel that in my bones. And you can get linemen later in the draft. These two wide receivers that are available, and especially Ted McMillan, they just don't come around every year. And I think you got to strike while the iron's hot. And I'm hoping that Jerry does the right thing by Cowboy fans tonight at 12 and takes McMillan.
And that's the other part too. You talk about a receiver like this that you have the ability to go get.
Yes.
And to paraphrase a line from Mike Tomlin, dude, I'd love to have you. I just never draft high enough to get you.
Right.
You got to hope, if you're a Cowboy fan, that you're not picking in the teens, the early teens next year or the year after or the year after. So to get that kind of player, you have to strike while the iron is hot. Now, I could see Jerry moving down like the caller suggested but I still think one of those wide receivers are going to be there. You know, I wouldn't be mad at Tyler Booker, but I wouldn't be excited about Tyler Booker. That would be a smart pick, but you need weapons around Dak Prescott. What's the point of protecting him if your only real receiver is double or triple covered, right? I mean, there is a reason Jalen Tolbert led this team last year in touchdown catches, and it's not because he's a great wide receiver. It's because he was wide ass open because everybody was covering CeeDee Lamb.
That's exactly right. You need somebody else on that other side, somebody that's going to command some respect, and McMillan will do that. And then you've got the other wide receivers that they can fight over the number 3. And I tell you what, Tolbert, I think if the pressure is off of him, then Jalen, you don't have to be the number 2 guy. All right, you be number 3, and we'll get you the football. You just do your thing. I think that helps him, and I think it helps everybody. And we're talking about Jonathan Mingo. What does that do for him, if anything? So there's a lot of questions there, and I just think that would not only help the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, it helps CeeDee Lamb as well. Maybe takes a little heat off of him. So I just think these kind of guys don't come around that often. Whether you like McMillan or you like Golden, either way, you don't have an opportunity to draft guys like this very often, and you need to get that done. You have a chance tonight to pick up a premier wide receiver. You don't let that pass by.
Let's go to Gabe. Gabe, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Good afternoon, fellas. Happy draft day.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I was going to tell you guys, I don't care really what they do. It's just as long as it's not a crazy, weird move, as long as they tackle a need, like a wide receiver, running back, it's all good. Golden, I think, is a great pick. People are going to love him because he's from the Longhorns. I think he'll fit good in Dallas. He likes Jerry Jones, obviously, like you guys were talking about the other day. But I don't know. I just want them to do nothing crazy. But as long as they stick to the script, draft needs, that's all I'm really looking for tonight. I don't know about you guys. I'll hang up and listen, though, fellas.
All right, so I don't know what you mean by something crazy necessarily, Gabe, and because Jerry's perfectly capable of doing something crazy tonight, but I don't think they will. I think if they keep that 12, if they keep their pick at 12, there are too many good players to choose from. They can't really screw it up too bad. Even if you're not excited about the pick, it's going to be a good player. So I will be disappointed if it's not McMillan, but I'll understand if they go a different route, if they go Golden, if they go lineman at that pick. I get it.
I will say if you talk crazy, if they pick up a player that I haven't heard of from a school I'm not sure where it's at, I'd be pissed. If they picked up Tyler Guyton from Tulsa tonight, I'd be pissed, right? And I think that's what Gabe is saying, because Guyton was a surprise, and coming from Tulsa. And again, I'm not a knock the small school kind of guy. I mean, hell, Ashton Genty is going to go in the top 5 probably. But when I look at what's available, if they were to make a move like that, a safety, a nose guard, I think would be about the only thing that would piss me off. Even an offensive line, I wouldn't be thrilled, but I wouldn't be mad. I just wouldn't be excited.
Well, I think you're talking about Tyler Smith from Tulsa.
Oh, Tyler Smith. What did I say? Guyton from Oklahoma.
And
You're right.
He may be their best offensive lineman right now.
Yeah.
Now that Zach Martin's gone, he may be their best guy. So that was a great pick. Tyler Guyton, the jury's still out on that guy. He did not have a good season last year. Not at all. So does he improve? Hopefully he does. But so it doesn't necessarily have to be, but I understand what you're saying. Joe Blow from North Dakota Tech.
Yeah,
I get it, right? And that's gonna piss people off, no doubt. But I understand what you're saying. But some of these small school guys, like Tyler Smith, can turn out to be pretty damn good.
Let's go to Renee. You're on the Blitz. What's up, Renee?
Yeah, he's going to get an offensive lineman, whether he stays at 12 or he trades up. Why? Because he's Jerry Jones. Right? Why does he do what he does?
You say that, Renee. I appreciate the call. Why? Because he's Jerry Jones. Boring, right? No, Jerry likes the shiny object. I mean, remember, Jerry had to get, talked down from Johnny Manziel. Stephen Love's telling the story, had to grab him by the collar and put him against the wall. I mean, the fact that Jerry has gone offensive line the last couple of years because it was the smart thing to do. And also, when you look at where they were picking, it was the smart thing to do. At 12, when you look at what should be available to the Cowboys at 12, especially the shiny object, the explosive type player, the weapon for Dak Prescott, I just, especially if they stay at 12, I just don't see the Cowboys going offensive line. Again, I wouldn't be mad, but I wouldn't be excited. It'd be ho-hum.
Well, it would be ho-hum, but it would fit a need. It would. Look, the Cowboys, if they've been anything, they've been really good at drafting offensive linemen, with the exception thus far of Tyler Guyton. Cooper Beebe was a hit.
Yeah,
he played well, and he's going to continue to grow, and he's going to get better. Tyler Smith, who we talked about, he's good, maybe their best offensive lineman. So Jerry's been good at drafting offensive linemen. I just think in this position, and you just mentioned this, in this position, where they're at right now, you have an opportunity to get a playmaker, a true playmaker. You got to take advantage of that opportunity because hopefully you're not in this position next year. You've won, you've made the playoffs, and you're drafting a hell of a lot higher than you are now. So this is an opportunity for the Cowboys to get another playmaker. And quite frankly, that's a big need for them right now.
It really is. Your thoughts on the draft? What do you think the Cowboys will do tonight? What do you want the Cowboys to do tonight? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Time to call your shot here on the Blitz, live out at the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the final days of Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. This is your last chance to get an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. But hurry, these savings end soon. And this weekend only, we're open Sunday to give you an extra day to shop our expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. Time is running out. 20% off, store-wide savings. Visit diamondsdirect.com for details.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
If you've been injured in an accident, you know there's no shortage of attorneys who want your business. But when it comes to results, the numbers speak for themselves. Thomas J. Henry secured over $1 billion for clients in the past 4 years. We've successfully represented thousands of injured Texans, earning over 12,000 five-star reviews on Google. So, who is the right attorney for you? Just look at the numbers. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, Joe Q. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-351-4596. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-351-4596. 800-351-4596. 800-351-4596.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results vary. Consult with your tax professional prior to enrollment.
Wilco, live in concert. Sweet and Sour Spring 2025. VSB May 6th with special guest Waxahachie. Wilco. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit wilcoworld.net.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
And Doug. Quickly, Moo. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1.
Love this bar.
San Antonio Sports Star. Not often I get Joe actually singing along.
That was a good
karaoke
song.
night.
Well,
Still
Pledge
is.
finally played some decent music.
Yeah, good Lord. The Roo Pub at 281 and Redmond Road, and I do love this bar. Who is this?
This is he's not with us any longer.
The late great Toby Keith.
Yeah,
Thanks, Pledge.
Yeah.
Why Pledge? It's you.
I had it on the tip of my tongue, Pledge.
Yeah, I know.
Right there.
I knew who that was.
I knew that he was
I just
no
didn't
longer
know
with
if
us.
you knew who that was.
I knew who it was.
You know, Pledge, man, he sometimes can't help himself.
Well, it's all right, Pledge. He's taking care of us back there.
It was obvious he didn't know.
No, I knew.
I knew Pledge.
I just said he was no longer with us, and I knew that. I was just trying to think of his name.
Yeah.
So we got a party coming in here at the Roo Pub.
There's always a party here
always,
at the Roo Pub.
right? Yeah.
There'll be a big old party tonight because it is draft night, NBA playoffs, all kinds of stuff. And again, you got to call your shot. What do you think the Cowboys are going to do at number 12? What do you think they will do? What do you expect them to do? And that's sometimes not always the same. Let's go to Gary. Gary, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Oh, man, I mean, it's great to hear you guys again. It's been a long time since I've called in. I think Jerry Jones should just use the KISS method. Now, you guys are oldies like me, so you know what the KISS method is, right?
Uh-huh.
Keep it simple, stupid. Don't try. I mean, my opinion, Monty Smith, dud. Tyler Guyton, dud. Just go ahead and get McMillan and just everybody's going to say he made the right decision. Don't do like that other guy up there in Dallas when he went and got rid of Doncic. Just do the right thing, man. Just get
Fire
it.
Nico. Fire Nico.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
I'm with you, brother.
Go.
I'm with you.
Yeah. And again, we still haven't had first-round trades, but the Houston Texans and Nick Caserio, who loves to trade, Caserio's already started. In fact, the Houston Texans officially tweet out, it's starting early today with eyeballs. The Texans today traded their fifth-round pick, 166 overall, and a 2027 fifth-round pick to the Browns for a sixth-round pick this year, 179 and 216 overall, and a seventh-round pick, 255 overall. Now, all I can tell you is if Nick Caserio is loading up on a couple of 6 and a 7 this year, he's trying to figure out some extra draft capital to throw into a trade that's going to be bigger later. I can't imagine he wants to use all three of these this weekend.
No, I wouldn't imagine he's going to do that. He's up to something. I would tell Nick Caserio, I love the guy. I love the guy because he's a gambler. This guy will roll the dice and say the hell with it. And I love it. And I love what he started here. He's got some ammunition. He's not done. I can guarantee you he is not done. The Texans will do something else before this night is over. They've got the 25th pick. Who says they don't slide up to, 12, 10? Who knows what Caserio is going to do?
All I know is the idea of them making a trade with the Dallas Cowboys, a couple of 6 and a 7 this year doesn't move the needle for Jerry Jones. They've got a lot of picks. The Cowboys have a lot of picks in this year's draft. So I would be stunned if the kind of talk that we heard the other day, some of the spaghetti on the wall about the Cowboys and Texans making a move to get the Houston Texans up to 12. This move here, I do not think that will factor into any kind of move with the Cowboys because 3 late picks this year does nothing for Jerry Jones. He's got a ton of those already.
Maybe they could trade quarterbacks.
Well,
what do you think?
First off, Nick Caserio would not do that.
Well, exactly. He wouldn't. Yes, I agree with you.
And I don't know that Jerry would do that. I do not know that Jerry would do that.
I know. He's in love with Dak.
He is in love with Dak, and he has invested a lot. And again, I mean, Claymore tweeted a GIF of McMillan.
That's incredible, isn't it?
And I want Golden. And I had McMillan, and then I had him off. And, you just wonder about the tug of war. The athlete that he is, the comp to Mike Evans, the comp to a Des Bryant. And this would be considered wide receiver 2.
Yes.
Rich people problems.
Yes.
And Jerry Jones knows all about rich people problems.
Yes.
And this is one. This is not only is this a luxury pick, it's a necessary pick. And how often do you get both? A need that's also a luxury when you're talking about wide receiver 2. Because this guy could go to another team and be a wide receiver 1.
There's no question about it. And look, the difference between McMillan and Golden is the size, the height of McMillan. To me, that puts him over the edge. If you're deciding amongst the two, you take McMillan. McMillan can do so much more for you than Golden can. Golden can break things over the top. He's got the speed. He can do that. McMillan can do the dirty work. And that's why you take McMillan over Golden all day long and twice on Sunday.
Well, and again, just playing devil's advocate here. And earlier today we were talking about R.J. Ochoa, with R.J. Ochoa.
Yeah.
And he brought up the fact that Jonathan Mingo is a 6'4" wide receiver. And the Cowboys did use a 4th-round pick on Jonathan Mingo. Now, when you're looking at needs and you're looking at 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round type wide receivers. Now, granted, Mingo, they traded a 4th-round pick with. When you're the Cowboys, and put yourself in the Cowboys' shoes, not what you're thinking right now.
Okay.
If you're looking at your needs – and you've had some time now to work with Jonathan Mingo. For a wide receiver 2, does Jonathan Mingo look like he could check that box?
No. I mean, no. And he couldn't check it. Where did he come from? Carolina?
He was in Carolina.
Yeah, he couldn't check it for them. So, and they got a gift from Jerry, a 4th-round draft pick. So, look, Mingo's not the answer. Why?
Again, we're talking about wide receiver too.
Again.
I mean, this is a guy that was a 2nd-round pick in 2023. Played his ball at Ole Miss. Never really developed at Carolina, but look at those Carolina teams. Could he be one of those guys? And I'm trying to set myself up for stuff that I might hear if they don't go McMillan or receiver. Have they seen enough? Because they have had him in their building for a while. Could he be one of those late bloomers? You know, a lot of these guys right now are not going to work out. We asked AI earlier today, just kind of having some fun, about how many get labeled bust. And it's about 55% of 1st-round picks don't work out, according to AI.
Yeah.
It really is a flip of a coin. And it's not necessarily that these guys don't have talent. They do. That's why they're going in the 1st round. So for some, it's not where you get picked number-wise. It's where you get picked organization-wise. Could Jonathan Mingo be a better fit in Schottenheimer's system than he was in Carolina? And again, they had him at the end of last year and at this point through offseason. And that's one thing that I do think we have to keep in mind going into the draft. They've got a better read on Jonathan Mingo than they do anybody that they're going to pick up right now. I don't look at it that way because I wasn't a fan of that when they did it because he's been labeled a bust. But half the guys that get picked tonight are not going to work out. History tells you that.
Very true. However, first of all, McMillan is more athletic than Jonathan Mingo. Even though they're the same size, he's more athletic. His hands are better. I think McMillan runs circles around Jonathan Mingo. Now, if the Cowboys, we'll see if they end up drafting Golden, then you know the answer to that question. You know that they're happy with Mingo. They think he can become something, and they want a guy that can get over the top. So I think that clearly tells you that. And if my gut was going to tell me anything, I would say that that's probably where Jerry's leaning right now. I think he likes Matthew Golden, and I think they get along very well. Golden wants to be in Dallas. All of those things line up. I just think when you've got a talent like Ted McMillan, it is going to be very difficult to let some other team scoop him up if you had the chance to draft him. And you're going to have to roll that dice and hope that you made the right decision and it doesn't go somewhere, I don't know, like the Giants, Washington.
Yeah, you don't want to see that dude.
Philadelphia. I mean, and come back and bite you squarely in the ass.
Somebody tweeted this yesterday and said, "Don't do another Randy Moss situation."
Exactly right.
And with McMillan, it might be that he is so talented. And even if I like Mingo, I still would take McMillan.
Yes.
Right. And I'm talking myself out of Golden, but also Schottenheimer loves speed. Jerry loves speed. Not quite to the Al Davis type level of if you've got wheels, you're going to have a job here. But it is kind of interesting. But that's one of the things that as we go through this process tonight, trying to go inside their boardroom and the stuff they're discussing and what we think they need and what they think they need. You can't have, A players at every position, right? So, if they rob Peter to pay Paul, and maybe they're putting more value on running back. Maybe they're, that's what I'm looking at because keep in mind, they did use a 4th-round pick on Mingo.
They used one of those on Trey Lance too.
Yeah, they did. And you know what? It didn't work, and they went with it. And again, half of 1st-round picks don't work out. What's the success rate of 4th-round picks? Somebody ask AI that and tweet us at Joe Reiniger,
no kidding,
210,
right? Yeah.
At Jason Minix, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Hey, Mark, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Just watching the deer and the squirrels. They're fun to watch.
Well, I'm sure they are. What do you think about the draft?
Well, I hope you guys are having a happy draft day there at the Roo Pub. That sounds like a great place to go.
Always, yes.
Yeah, but I'm scared to drive around New Braunfels, much less going to San Antonio, so I'll never go. But anyway, it sounds like a great place.
I would Uber.
And, I listen to you guys. Yeah, well, You ain't driven any Broncos lately, brother. It's scary.
All right.
I listen to you guys' show several times a week, every week. It's my favorite sports show to listen to. And I usually don't agree with one or the other of you, but in this case, I agree with both of you. They've got to get a wide receiver. I'd be happy if they could get a great running back or an O-lineman. I'm good on all those, just like you guys are saying. But here's my rub. It's like that other caller said, Jerry might do something crazy. Well, you don't never know, man, because, Jerry has a plan. He has a plan. I know that. He's a smart man. He's the richest in the world, probably. But Custer had a plan. But Crazy Horse had a better plan. And more guys and better weapons. So just because you got a plan, so that's the only thing that scares me about Mr. Jones.
And
I'll get off the line.
Appreciate you
Fair
calling,
enough.
man.
Thanks,
Mark.
man. Appreciate it.
And as you say that, better weapons. And that is the one thing that the Cowboys lack is enough weapons for Dak Prescott.
Yep.
And, I know the Dak haters are instantly going to say every great quarterback has a lot of great receivers and generally a great offensive line and, pretty damn good running back. I mean, you've got to put together a great team. Jerry spouted off the other day about how great their drafts have been. And he's right. It's fact. When you look at the number of number of all-pro players they have drafted since 2010, they lead the league. Same with Pro Bowlers. They can draft great individual players, but they haven't put together great teams that have had any playoff success.
That's it. And again, we're sitting here talking about number 12, whether Jerry stays at 12 or not, whether he moves back. If he does, whatever player they get there tonight, you have to hope and knock on wood, it's going to be a good player. And it's going to help this team. So that's the good news. I just think McMillan is head and shoulders above the rest. I hope that's who they draft. I think he would be the best fit. Golden would be fine. Offensive line, whatever they do, they're going to get a good player. So now all we can do is sit back and wait. And Jason, we got 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 10 seconds.
Cannot wait. And that means we've got, an hour and 26 minutes to take your calls. If you got a line like Jordan, stay there. More of your calls coming up here on the Blitz. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. You got the draft tonight. You got 3 NBA playoff games tonight. It's going to be an exciting night. To add more to that excitement, make sure you're playing the Pick'em game at Underdog. And it's playoff time. They've got that great extender promo. The extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. You start your playoff series using your game 1 boost, and you continue boosting for each subsequent game. Longer the series, the bigger the boost. Tonight, I already made some picks on my Pick'em entry, 60% boost. Underdog is a leading place to make all your picks. One of the best sports apps out there that has over 100,000 5-star reviews. All you have to do to play the Pick'em game is choose higher or lower on predicted stats. Download the Underdog app. Use my promo code STAR when you sign up to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, promo code STAR at Underdog.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle. Who's the newest Cowboy? Who's going to be drafted tomorrow? We'll talk about that. Plus, we've got NBA playoffs still in full swing. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collisions since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I don't understand the fetishes of the feet thing and all that. I don't get it.
So what is your line for weirdness?
My wife has really long hair and it smells good. That's nice.
What about her feet? Suck on her toes?
No, I don't suck on her toes. That's nasty. Nobody needs to be sucking on toes.
Well, there's the promo for the show this week.
Yeah. The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. The offer ends soon. Call Connecticut today.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
I was just watching a future Dallas Cowboy being interviewed by Laura Rutledge.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. His name's Tet McMillan. You ever heard of him?
I have.
Okay.
T-Mac.
Yeah. So Laura was giving him the once-over there. Or vice versa. I don't know.
Stop.
One of the two.
Stop. You know, we got so many people on hold, having a hard time doing some giveaways. So we've got a pair of tickets to go see the Gunslingers take on the Las Vegas Knights Saturday night, April 26th, Freeman Coliseum. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, get over to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. The 9th person to type in, "I want them," will win a pair of tickets to go see the Gunslingers, and then you'll have to coordinate with Pledger a little bit later. because, like I said, we got a lot of people on hold wanting to talk draft, like Jordan. Hey, Jordan, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Hey, first time caller. I just moved here from Virginia. The show is awesome. I love you guys.
I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you. What part of Virginia?
Virginia Beach.
Virginia. All right. Navy guy?
My dad. Yeah, but I've got some drafts. I got some draft stats here that put the draft into perspective. So only 44% of first round draft picks sign a contract with the team that drafted them.
Okay.
So the first round is hard also. But then when you talk about success between first and fourth round, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, 137 of the Hall of Famers were drafted in the first round. Only 12 were drafted in the fourth.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's interesting.
It is crazy. Jordan, welcome to San Antonio. Appreciate you finding us
Yes.
on 94.1. Now you got to find us here at the Roo Pub at 281 in Redland Road. You're officially a part of our research department now.
Absolutely.
Mario, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, sir?
Hey, guys. So I know this year's draft, there's not 5 bona fide superstars. There's a lot of studs in the positions the Cowboys need, except for linebacker. I think the Cowboys need to draft the kid from Alabama, Jihad Campbell, and they'll probably trade back a few spots and pick up some picks to get him, because they can get running back in second and third round just like they can the receivers.
I mean, that's not a horrible idea, honestly. I don't know, and I hadn't really put much thought into that, but linebackers, it's not a horrible idea.
Well, it's not. And again, I appreciate the outside the box thinking and hearing something a little bit different. Although I don't think, Mario, we will see that from the Cowboys tonight. Again, brand new head coach that's also the offensive coordinator. Jerry Jones wants to look smart by hiring Schottenheimer, so I think he'll let Schottenheimer make that pick that's going to be a playmaker, an impact player in his offense. If, you went with a defensive-minded coach, maybe it is Campbell or a defensive player. It just seems to go that way so often. I like what you're thinking, and, man, if you're right tomorrow, I fully expect to hear from you and run those victory laps left and right. Let's go to Martin on line 3. Hey, Martin, you're on the Blitz.
How you doing, gentlemen?
Fantastic.
I think the Cowboys was the first round. McMillan, he's physical. He's like you need someone to do the dirty work in the middle, like Michael Irvin. And I think second round, offensive lineman, and then third, a running back. You got to get that O-line going.
All right, fair enough.
Martin, appreciate the phone call. I do wonder, and it'll be interesting to see how things play out. I like what his draft top 3 priorities are. I don't necessarily know that I like the order. I do think in this draft, the running backs that should be available in the second round is where you want to grab them. If you wait till the third round, you're rolling the dice that you get a guy. And I don't know that the Cowboys are looking for just a guy at running back. You need to find one of those explosive playmakers, which the last several years were available in the second and third round. It seems like the running back resurgence has elevated all of their value, all of that draft stock. Now, you look at there's 2 running backs with first-round grades in Genty and Hampton. But there's then, several that are going to be available in the second round, whether you're looking at Ohio State, Oklahoma State, those groups. And I do think, and you see it every year, there's going to be a run on them. And there will be a run on running backs, I think, in the second round.
Happens every time, whether it's running back, tight end we saw a year ago, 2 years ago. So it always happens. One team starts the ball rolling and other teams follow suit. So I think it's cool. But I'm with you, Jason. Look, wide receiver, I want McMillan in the first round, and you draft the running back in the second. and then you start filling in the holes that you have, either offensive or defensive line. Cornerback, I think maybe you make that a priority in the third round, and then you go from there. But I think, look, there's a lot of talent to be had that people don't know about. We mentioned all these names like Golden and Barron and Omari and Hampton, and you don't hear about these other guys. Who ever heard of Cooper Beebe, to be honest? I mean, you'd heard of him, but well, and he turns out to be the best offensive line draft pick the Cowboys made last year.
Even say Ollie Gordon, he wouldn't be a bad pickup if you're getting him late. I love Cam Scadaboo from Arizona State if you're going there. And again, when you talk about offensive line and the resources that the Cowboys have invested in the offensive line, the left side, you've got a first round, and then at center, you've got a third-round pick. The right side of the offensive line, obviously weaker, but Brock Hoffman played extremely well last year when given the opportunity. And he's penciled in right now as the starting right guard. And, Brock was on with us last year at Cowboys training camp. That is a good dude that works his ass off. And, all right, he's a good dude. We had a lot of fun with him on the interview and kind of getting to know him a little bit off the air. But at the same time, when he was called on to play last year, the guy played at a high level. Terrence Steele has been a roller coaster. Terrence Steele, his rookie year was, and then all that offseason, they talked about how he just dominated and got so much better. And then he played extremely well, got paid. Then he tore his knee. And then last year, he wasn't the same. First year coming off of the injury. Maybe this year he gets back to that old form now that he's got another year under his belt as recovery. And the fact that, one, they didn't make him a post-June 1 cut because they could have, tells me that he must be playing better. And let's not forget, their new offensive coordinator was the O-line coach at Arizona and is one of those offensive line guru genius types. And so I think his input on the offensive line will go a long way as whether those guys are worth a damn or not. And that would be pretty telling in the draft. But while we think they need it, they might not think they need it. I know they've been talking about Matt Walesko for a couple of years. Guy hasn't been able to stay healthy, but he's still on the team. So there's a reason they've kept him around because they really like him if they can ever get that guy healthy. TJ Bass, again, depth guy. He's still around. And then you look at some of what they added this year, and then Awesome Richards, played well at times. Other times but as a young player, you're going to get beat at times. So, for the first time in a long time, you kind of feel like there is, what's the word I'm looking for? There is depth at the offensive line, but I don't know how great the need is high in the draft, like you're drafting a starter, especially when you're looking at first or second round with the other needs that could make an immediate impact.
Yeah, look, I would go with just by everybody you mentioned there. The Cowboys are in decent shape there. And I'm not saying it's a finished product, but to me, wide receiver, running back, cornerback are the priorities for this team. That's because, look, I'll be honest with you, and I said this morning, and I feel this way. I think Trayvon Diggs is done. I really do. Just the injuries that he's had, I think he's done. I don't think the Cowboys can count on him ever again. Whether he stays a Cowboy, quits the league, or goes somewhere else, I just don't believe he's got anything left with those injuries that he's had. So you got to start thinking about what you're going to do at cornerback, and I think that's a priority. Was it Bland? There was a story out on him today. He's not concerned about there haven't been any negotiations for a contract for him. There will be.
Yes.
There will be. But I think you've got to figure out what's going to happen with Trayvon Diggs, and I really just don't think that guy is ever going to be what he was the first year. And quite frankly, that's really about all he did. It got him a very large paycheck, and so he's going to be set for life.
And when you look at Diggs, certainly he can't be in your plans for this year. Beyond that, who knows if he'll ever be the same, but honestly, if you can get rid of that guy and get out of that contract, that's the smart business thing to do. And that is the nasty side of the NFL because injuries are a part of the game. which is why you have guys that, like Micah Parsons, I'm not stepping on that field without a new deal because they want security beyond the next year. Because if Micah goes out this year without that contract, shreds a knee, he's not going to get that. And that's different than quarterback. Don't give me, well, Dak Prescott had that injury and he still got paid. Quarterback is different. And I think we all know that, unless you're just trying to argue. But most guys, you get an injury like that, especially in a contract year, it will affect you. And I think it certainly would affect Micah if his injury is kind of like what we're seeing with Diggs or even Overshown to a degree. It would be awful hard to pay that guy big guarantees and $40 million a year with a big old question mark whether or not he's going to get the job done. It's the nasty business side of football. I'll pay you that while you're producing at that level, but as soon as you're not, I'm doing everything I can to cut you, which is why when we talk contracts, you hear all these numbers. Micah Parsons, 5 years, $200 million. Only thing that matters is how much is guaranteed, right?
And that could be a big sticking point in these negotiations. But, look, I feel bad for Trayvon Diggs, but he got paid. So I don't feel that bad for him. If he never plays football again, he's set for life. His kids are set for life, so he's going to be just fine. And it's unfortunate for him, but that happens. Again, it's a rough business. But I think you've got to start thinking about replacing this guy, and I think you start in the draft. And that's why the priorities for me, wide receiver, running back, cornerback, 1, 2, 3, bang, 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 get those done, and then you start filling in spots where you think you need it after that.
And the other part of that, the Cowboys are coming off of a substandard season. And quite frankly, with all the injuries and Cooper Rush and everything that they dealt with, the fact that they won 7 games is crazy. And I saw a tweet earlier today blaming Kevontae Turpin. If that dude takes a knee against Washington and doesn't return that kick for a touchdown, the Cowboys would be picking like 4th or 5th instead of 12, right? But if you're a Cowboy fan, if you're in the Cowboys front office, you're Jerry, you're Steven, you're Will McClay, you're Brian Schottenheimer, you hope the hell that next year you're picking in the mid to late 20s. And that's where you want to be picking every year. So while you're sitting at 12, because of a bad season, you've got to take advantage of that, because the Cowboys historically haven't been a team that is struggled year after year. You know, there's always teams seemingly picking at the top of the draft and they can never get it right and they can't get out of their own way.
Cleveland.
The Cowboys aren't that. And so if you're Jerry, you've got to say we've got to maximize our suckage season by drafting well this year.
You've got a chance to get a top-tier talent in the first round this year. You can't blow this. And I say that, no disrespect to the fat guys on the offensive line, but you've got a chance to get a playmaker, and you can't let that pass you by. You get a playmaker. And I'm saying I want McMillan, but if it's Golden, so be it. Get a playmaker that can score some points and can command some respect away from CeeDee Lamb to let him operate as well. You've got to take advantage of this opportunity.
The draft a little more than an hour away. Come hang out with us here at the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road. Blitz goes until 6, and then we're sticking around and watching the draft with you here at the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road. Guys over 40, you need to know this website, fixmylowt.com. That's where you need to go if you've been running out of energy, you get tired easily, you need Synergenics. They're all about helping men feel their best with testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT. Synergenics has clinics all over the San Antonio area and very convenient locations, even up in New Braunfels, where you can walk in, see a real medical provider, and get started. It is simple, no hassle. And guys love Synergenics because treatment plans are made just for you. So you see all these online TRT services where, one, you got to wait on test kits, lab results, and meds, and then you get whatever they send you. Synergenics, you can walk in, get it done fast and in person, and it's customized to you. And that's what's so important. Personalized treatment is the key, because not every guy has the same testosterone level. Synergenics, their personalized therapy goes beyond standard treatments, and they have been the go-to experts at TRT for well over a decade. And during this month of April, the consultation is free. Treatment is covered by most major insurance. Take advantage of this offer, a very affordable way to check your testosterone levels and change your life for the better. Synergenics helps men like you get back to feeling full of energy and ready to take on anything. So if you're feeling off, don't wait. Go to fixmylowt.com. Now, if you're just struggling to lose a few pounds, they can take care of that as well with prescription weight loss treatment options. You know what you need to do to take control of your health. Go to fixmylowt.com and book that appointment. fixmylowt.com.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
If you're looking to up your beer game, Karbach has you covered. From Hopadillo to Crawford Bach to Ziegenbach to their best seller, the Love Street, there's something for everybody in the lineup, and you can find it anywhere. Next time you're out and about, ask your bartender to make it a Karbach.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the nation's largest family law firm, but we're more than just size. We're part of your community. With offices across the country, our attorneys and staff live and work right where you do. And because we're local, we know your courts, your laws, and your legal community. When divorce puts your future on the line, you need a firm that's both powerful and personal. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Offices in San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of our firm's San Antonio area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. Your San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for the Viva Fiesta Viva Brahmas home opener this Sunday, April 27th at 2 p.m. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Get your tickets today at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com for tickets. Our town, our team, our herd.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
We are now less than 2 hours away from the first round of the NFL draft, and former UIW quarterback Cam Ward expected to go number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. Cowboys will select at number 12. Texans will select at 25. You can listen to it right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star beginning at 6, right after the Blitz. Also NBA playoff action tonight. 3 games on the schedule in the NBA.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Draft day. First day of Fiesta. Let's party. It is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate it. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. This is Joe Reinagel going into your 8th hour of broadcasting on this draft day.
Wow.
I'm Jason Minix going into hour 4.
And I'm feeling great. I tell you, it's all adrenaline because the NFL draft, I'm excited about tonight. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I truly believe there's going to be some fireworks and some drama, and I'm excited about it. So I think the adrenaline is got me going. And if there's a day where you have to pull in double duty, I think today is a pretty good day to do that.
Although Gilbert says it's the delirium, which could be that too. But yeah, you're right.
I don't even know what that means.
Exactly. So the idea that you filled in this morning on the morning huddle with AJ Hoffman.
Yep.
And then you're doing double duty and getting it all done. But you're right. On a day like today, it's easy, right? Because there is just so much to speculate on. And what's nuts is we are an hour from our draft coverage here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 1 hour, 56 minutes away from Roger Goodell walking on the stage in Green Bay and saying, all right, we're live. Here's Cam Ward. You're going to the Tennessee Titans. And outside of that, everything else is anybody's wild guess.
That's exactly right.
No first-round trades yet. The Houston Texans made a trade today, and I'm not sure if that was just Nick Caserio saying, well, I got to live up to my reputation.
I got to do something.
Because all he did was add to day 3 with what he did today, and if you're just getting by, they traded a couple of picks, a 5th round this year and a 5th round in 27 with Cleveland for this year's 2 6s and a 7, 179, 216, and 255 overall, which to me is just Nick Caserio setting up for something more later, and he needed draft capital because as we sit right now, the Houston Texans have 9 picks in the draft, 25, 58, 79, 89, 179, 216, 236, 241, and 255.
There'll be a test later.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I hope you all wrote that down.
Yeah.
No, look, he's going to be doing something later. I have to believe. If not later today, then certainly before the weekend is over. I don't think there's any question about that. This guy he's a gunslinger. He just is. He's a gambler. And I love that. And it worked out pretty well for him when he did that. They draft C.J. Stroud. They come back with Will Anderson Jr. Bang, bang. Genius move for the Houston Texans. I'm not sure exactly what he wants to do or what he I know what he needs to do. They've got to replenish that offensive line. They've got to get C.J. Stroud some help. And so that's got to be priority number 1 for the Houston Texans.
We'll talk about that coming up in about 10 minutes with John McClain, who is getting ready to cover his 49th draft.
Wow.
Think about that. So you look at that and you go, all right, Cowboys, right? Cowboys have a long list of needs, and some of them feel like a luxury for the Cowboys, right? They need a running back, but do they do that at number 12? I don't think I'd be mad at that. They need a wide receiver too. So it's rich people problem when you're talking about taking a wide receiver at 12 overall that is your wide receiver too. but they have to get weapons for Dak Prescott.
They do, and as of now, the weapons that they have at the wide receiver position just have not worked out. Now, the jury's still out on a Jonathan Mingo, but I don't think anybody's expecting a lot from that guy. And anyway, that's beside the point in my mind. When you've got talent like Ted McMillan or Matthew Golden available to you when you come up and it's your turn to pick, I just don't see how you let that talent get by. I just don't. I like Ted McMillan. I think I put him higher than Matthew Golden. And if you've got an opportunity to draft that guy, I think you have to do it, regardless of it is a need. But even if it wasn't, how do you let a guy like that get away?
Well, and I'm with you, whether he loves football or not. You know, when you get comps to Mike Evans and Des Bryant, it's hard to pass that up. But let's throw spaghetti on the wall, since we know Jerry was talking substantial trades. You move back and you get, I don't know, a third round, fourth round pick. And you're able to move back and get a Golden. You're able to move back and get a Luther Burden. You're able to move back and get wide receiver from Ohio State. And you're getting another third or fourth round pick. Would you do that? Or is it Ted McMillan or bust?
No. The kid from Ohio State, Ibuka?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy is he seems to be the real deal as well. Yeah, if you can work something like that, I just think that if somebody offers you that, yeah, you take it. But I'm just saying, if you're going to stay at 12 and you don't have the offers and Ted McMillan is available, it would be very difficult for me to pass him by. Again, I think Jerry Jones really likes Matthew Golden, though. And maybe Brian Schottenheimer likes Matthew Golden better just from the speed factor.
Well,
remains to be seen.
And that's it. You got speed or size, right? Which one do you value more? You know, throw Travis Hunter out. Ted McMillan is the best wide receiver in this draft. And then Matthew Golden is probably number 2 or 3 on the list, depending on whose board that you're looking at. Luther Burden is an incredible player. And so, again, that's what I expect chaos tonight. I don't think I'd be mad if the Cowboys traded back, added another pick, especially if they could make it a third-round pick, and they got one of those other wide receivers. As long as they get weapons to help this offense move the ball and score touchdowns next year, I think you could say the Cowboys would have a successful first round.
Absolutely. And again, the first round where they are, if they stay at 12, they're going to get a good player. There's no question about that. The Cowboys are going to get a good player, no matter what position that is. So I think Cowboy fans are going to be happy relative to depending on what it is you want tonight from the Cowboys. I think you're going to be happy with whatever they do. They're going to get a quality player without a doubt.
And then you could also hope that, I don't know, Ashton Genty starts sliding. Could you imagine what will happen here in the Roo Pub if all of a sudden, you know, Genty's available at 8, Genty's available at 9, Genty's available at, oh my goodness, man, this. I mean, it'd almost be like, you know, when we were here for the draft lottery a couple of years ago, and the ping pong balls were showing up, and Spurs are still there, and then all of a sudden, you know, it was an all-out party because we got Wemby.
Okay, Marcus Spears, what have you done with Jason Minix? What'd you do with him?
Well, he wants to trade all the way up to get
That's
Travis
what I'm
Hunter.
saying. You're both living in some kind of fantasy land somewhere.
I mean, at some point, that's what we're doing. I mean, at some point, I don't expect that to happen, but if you're every NFL team has run through every scenario, and that could be a scenario. That would be one that you would have to run through.
Sure.
If he's available, what if? And you play you in all the practice drafts that they have done, they've had that what if game.
Well, I mean, and I'll take it even further than that. Genty drops, say, to 8. Do you make a try to make a trade to move up to 9, or and snag him there? I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios you have to figure out. I just don't see Genty. I mean, 3 teams have been reported already. They're trying to trade up to get this guy. Jacksonville at 5, if they stay there, looks like they're going to take him. The Raiders want him. The Bears want him. So I just don't see him sliding that far. Somebody's going to jump up and get him if he slides past Jacksonville. Would try to make a deal with the Raiders unless they want him. So the kid's going to go most likely in certainly the top 5 or top 6 picks.
I would say, quite honestly, the chances of the Cowboys moving up, I'd put very slim.
Yeah.
Almost single digits. So you're saying there's a chance. At the same time, I would probably go 70% that the Cowboys move back and try to get another pick as opposed to picking at 12.
Well, that'll be interesting to see if they do that and still get lucky and maybe pick off a Golden or an Ibuka or who knows, even a Omari in Hampton could be available as something like that if they were to do that. So all kinds of scenarios, Jason, and I really believe that we're going to see some stuff, some fireworks, some drama in this draft. I really believe it. It's been so quiet up until this point. The Texans fired the first shot. It missed. I mean, they got a couple of extra picks, but it wasn't.
It was a little pellet gun.
It wasn't sexy, right? I think there's going to be some sexiness to this draft, and we're going to have some fun.
I can't go sexiness and make an analogy to say John McClain is going to join us next.
John McClain in lingerie.
Oh, dude, people are trying to eat.
Oh, sorry.
Good Lord, Shannon Sharp, would you stop? What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm just saying.
Sometimes I wonder about you, Reineck. Sometimes I really wonder about you. God, I'm going to throw up in my mouth a little bit.
You're going to be thinking about that all night now.
No, I'm not.
Nice little
I'm not.
lingerie
I'm not.
on the General.
No, let's think about a Dancing Wade Phillips Fiesta medal. Let's not. Let's give away a 94-1 San Antonio Sports Star Fiesta medal. We've got a pair of Fiesta medals because we're not giving you one, we're giving you two. If you want a Fiesta medal from 94-1, a limited edition Fiesta medal, just call James Pledger right now. Be caller number 12, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 on this first day of Fiesta. You win yourself some Fiesta medals from us if you are caller number 12. The great John McClain next here on the Blitz.
I tell you where they're celebrating Fiesta, and they do it every weekend. It doesn't even have to be Fiesta. That's the Golf Club of Texas. I know they've got concerts going on out there tomorrow night. There's always stuff going on at the Golf Club of Texas. It's a great place to go. It's a great place to hang out. And obviously, it's a great place to play golf. You walk out there, I guarantee you see the condition of that golf course with what they've done. You're going to think you're at a swanky country club. Well, I tell you what, it's not a country club. It's still swanky, though, and it's open to the public 7 days a week. It is one of the premier golf courses in San Antonio. I can't stress that enough. The food out there is fantastic. The 10 Cup Bar and Grill is one of the best places. You can take your family out there. You're not going to break the bank. If you're sticking around after golf or before and you sit down with your buddies, the drinks are cold. Every kind of cocktail you can imagine, they can make that out there. And the food is absolutely superb. The Golf Club of Texas, it is a hidden gem here in San Antonio. There's no question about it. Great place to go. If you want to play golf, get out there. In fact, go to golfclubtexas.com. Again, that's golfclubtexas.com. That's where the best rates are always available, and they're always there online. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. Whether it's for dinner at the 10 Cup, around with your buddies, or your next tournament, go check them out. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle. Who's the newest Cowboy? Who's going to be drafted tomorrow? We'll talk about that. Plus, we've got NBA playoffs still in full swing. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health. www.umbc.edu/health.
Listen up, San Antonio. At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can get college credit for the stripes you've earned. Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted service members and previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Wilco, live in concert. Sweet and Sour Spring 2025. DSP May 6th with special guest Waxahachie. Wilco. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit wilcoworld.net.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been, because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this: the insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix at the Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road. First day of Fiesta. More importantly, NFL Draft Round 1 tonight. 1 hour, 40 minutes from right now. Our draft coverage gets underway at 6 o'clock here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. No surprise, Nick Caserio didn't wait to start making some trades, although kind of feels like a toe-in-the-water trade. Generally, he goes waist deep to get started. Let's talk about it with the great John McClain joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. John, live at the press box there at the Houston Texans draft headquarters. Draft number 49, John. Man, that's incredible. I would ask, what was it like to cover a draft before computers?
Well, I was certainly doing it back with my old laptop typewriter. It's a lot quieter, I can tell you that.
A lot less people back then, I would imagine, too, right, John?
Oh, a whole lot of people. Nothing about Fan Fest or anything like that. Nothing televised. No crowds. Just people in a room waiting to hear from New York who picked whom and where.
So, John, as you get ready for the draft tonight, the Houston Texans, as we sit right now at 521, are picking at 25. I think a lot of us expect Nick Caserio to do everything he can to move up in the draft. What do you expect to happen tonight?
Well, all I know is he'll make trades. He could trade down. He could trade out of the first round. After that trade with Cleveland today, they netted 2 more picks, but they're low. They're 6th rounds. And usually when you're trying to trade up, he would have to, depending on how far he went up and who he was trying to get, he might have to give up next year's 1. He might have to give up one of his 3s. He's got 2 3s this year. He's got 2 2s next year. So he's got a lot of ammunition. Generally, you don't trade up for an offensive lineman unless you think that guy's going to be a 10-year starter and a perennial Pro Bowler. But you usually trade up for skill position players or pass rushers. They don't need pass rushers. They've got a Super Bowl caliber defense. They could use another receiver. Whatever he does, I still hope he takes an offensive tackle, because right now their starting offensive tackles are Cam Robinson at left tackle on a 1-year contract on his 3rd team in 2 years, and right tackle Blake Fisher, number 2 pick last year, who showed a little bit, but they don't know how either one of those guys can play, and they might be in the market again for another left tackle next year. So if they could get one, they better get him.
Well, John, when you look at what Caserio did today with the trade, I think he acquired two more picks this year. If I'm accurate on that, I mean, you got to believe he's doing that because he's not done doing something. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, I think that he'll use some of those to do something else. You know, generally, you don't trade up and give up 6th-round picks and 7th-round picks. You know, you got to pay a lot more than that. A lot of people think he wants Kelvin Banks Jr., and I'm sure he does. But Kelvin Banks Jr., some of the mock drafts today, I saw Daniel Jeremiah, who I respect the most. I think he had him going to the Raiders at 6. And so Kelvin Banks Jr., unless he were to drop down to close to 18 or 19, you're not going to be trading up and sacrificing what it would take in draft choices to get a left tackle who is not considered a great prospect. There's only 3 great prospects in this draft: Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and Ashton Jennings. Now, other players may end up in the Hall of Fame, but I'm just talking about going into the draft.
John McClain joining us here on the Blitz, and you say that, and I don't think you're going to find anybody that disagree with that. But we have to have a draft every year. But because you don't have those kind of players, is that why it's been so quiet as far as trades and mocks that are just all over the place? Because of all years, I mean, it's 50-50 that you're going to be successful or a bust. History tells us that. Do you feel like this year there will be more first-round busts just because we just don't know?
Jason, that's a great question and observation. Usually when you trade, you've got quarterbacks involved. This year, at least at the top, there's not any quarterbacks worth acquiring. That might be in the 2nd round, trading back up into the bottom of the 1st round and getting this 2nd level of Jackson Dart, who is rising since the end of the season. I don't know why he hadn't played. And Stuart Sanders is falling. Don't know why he hadn't played. And Jalen Milroe, everybody keeps talking about he's a better runner than Lamar Jackson. Well, Lamar Jackson isn't a 3-time MVP because he's a great runner. He's become a great passer. And Milroe would have to be a great passer. But if he could go to a stable situation, give him a couple of years to learn how to play the position from an NFL standpoint, then he might be worth taking. But there's just not a lot of great prospects in this draft. Now, I do think once we get into tonight, we will see a little jockeying. But right now, it's the first time since the common draft we haven't had a trade in the 1st round.
John, and that makes me believe that there is something afoot, because it has been awfully quiet, almost eerily quiet if you will. And I just have to believe that some of these teams are going to make some moves. I'm still reading reports that Cleveland and the Giants are fielding calls about their picks at 2 and 3. I think the Patriots could be had at 4. I don't know, in your experience covering drafts, when it's this quiet, do you believe the same thing, or is it just that quiet?
It's just that quiet. Nobody. What do they think? Cleveland's going to give up Travis Hunter, the one true superstar in this draft, and can't miss prospect? You know, you can call, and they'll politely say, you know, it doesn't hurt to call. They're not going to not take your call or hang up on you. But Travis Hunter is the only can't miss prospect. I really think Ashton Jennings, number 2. Abdul Carter is undersized, and he's coming off an injury. And there have been a lot of defensive linemen drafted high who have not panned out for one reason or another. But I've heard people in New York talking about he's the next Lawrence Taylor. Give me a bleeping break. There is nothing to indicate he's going to be the next Lawrence Taylor, because Lawrence Taylor is on that Mount Rushmore of NFL players, not just defensive either. And so I think this, national outlets and people who are on TV and talk shows and writers, they got to keep the suspense going. You know, today we got a little detour with Shannon Sharp leaving ESPN, which he says is he'll be back at preseason. I'll be shocked if he is. That took away a little of the draft conversation. But everybody has to report it and talk about it, except you guys, because you guys cover a team that is going to make substantial trade. We all know they're going to. And we can't wait to see what that substantive trade will be. Will it be like all in? Will it be like all in on free agency? You know, I'm thinking if Jerry Jones is working on a trade to trade up and get a player, and they hear him say that, well, whoever that GM he's talking to with another team will say, hey, Jer, we want that extra third-round pick thrown in, because they know how desperate he is. You just get everybody's hopes up, and then if you don't do it, you get blasted. Not like he cares, but I know all the Cowboys fans are all fired up to see what the Cowboys are going to do. Maybe they'll trade up and get Ashton Jennings. Wouldn't this be great if the Giants at 3 took Jenny? And they said, that's why we let Saquon Barkley go.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's like defining all in or substantive trades, and not one, John, but 2 that he was working on. So again, there's some suspense there. What are they actually going to do? We'll find out. Now, you're a perfect guy to ask this question to, because while you've covered pro football in Houston for forever, between the Oilers and the Texans, and I know you do a lot of talk shows in Nashville. Cam Ward, from the Houston area, growing up in high school, college ball started here in San Antonio, has worn number 1 the last couple of years. Now, he was number 7 in high school and at Incarnate Word, number 1 at Washington State and Miami. And he said if he goes to the Titans, which he will, that it would be kind of up to Warren Moon if Warren Moon allows him to wear jersey number 1. And the fact that the Titans retired that jersey, not the Oilers. But what are your thoughts? Will Cam Ward wear number 1 for the Tennessee Titans, or will he have to hope that 7 is available?
I hate that he went public. That's the kind of thing you do behind the scenes. He's putting a lot of pressure on Moon. You know, when you think of number 1, and a lot of athletes wear it now, there's only one number 1. He was the first. He's in the Hall of Fame. To me, Cam Ward ought to get another jersey. Then if people in Tennessee don't care, people in here care. Knowing Warren the way I do, and I know he knows Cam Ward, it won't surprise me at all if he says okay, but I just think Cam Ward should have talked to him privately to feel him out before he brought it up, because now if Warren says no, he's going to be the bad guy.
Well, that's exactly right. And we had this discussion the other day, John, Jason, and I. And Cam, you're right. He should have never been public. He should have just gotten another number. Once he realized that number was retired, you let all of this go. But it's become kind of in style, I guess, for lack of a better word, for guys to do that. We had it happen here in San Antonio with LaMarcus Aldridge wearing number 12 that Bruce Bowen had retired in the rafters of the AT&T Center. Frostbank Center. Sorry.
Yeah, same
Usually when you want a guy's number, they got to pay you for it. So seeing as Cam Ward's going to get about $30 million guaranteed, Moon ought to say, well, if you don't number 1, I want $1 million. And Ward would say, I'll switch to number 7.
Well, and in fairness to Cam Ward, he was asked about it, and I thought his answer was the right answer. He would like it, but if he had to get another number, he would. He's not demanding it. And
that's a great answer.
When I kind of felt like he got put on the spot, and it was a question he wasn't prepared for, to be honest. But it is awkward. And then Paul Korhowski, I think, went and talked to Warren Moon about it, and Warren Moon said, I got to think about it. It is interesting, but I'm with you. Retired numbers should be retired, and they're sacred, or don't retire them. It's like the Cowboys don't retire numbers, but ain't nobody ever going to wear number 12. I mean, if Travis Hunter went to the Cowboys, he would not get number 12.
Absolutely. I think Cam Ward ought to just say, I'll blaze my own trail with another number. And then it would be a dead issue. And then my Nashville shows, they didn't tell me what you just told me. They said he wants to wear number 1. But based on what you said about the way he handled it, that's about as well as he could handle it.
He's a pretty good kid. I'll tell you that. He really is a pretty good kid. All right, John, I just said before we let you go, we're going into the draft. Any surprises, or you just think things go chalk tonight?
No, there's always surprises. Last year, chaos started with Michael Penix at 8. Something will happen. Wouldn't it be something if somebody took Shamir Sanders, even though most have him not going any higher in Pittsburgh 21? Some of them have him out of the first round. People are trashing him with total anonymity, which I hate. And I would love to see some team grab him, like, say, the Raiders at 6, and sit behind Geno Smith for a while, learn under Pete Carroll and Tom Brady. I think that'd be a great situation for him. So I think that Shamir Sanders is the key to the first round.
He's certainly going to be the storyline, and how far does he slide ultimately will be one of the big storylines. John, draft number 49 about to be in the books for you. Appreciate you jumping on with us on draft day.
You guys have a lot of fun. I appreciate it very much as always.
Appreciate it. Follow John on Twitter at McLean_on_NFL. John McLean and all our guests on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. Final thoughts on the draft coming up here at the Roo Pub. Plenty of time for you to get over here and join us at the Roo, because while we get done at 6, we're sticking around, having some beers, having some dinner, and just having a good old time.
We got a rock star just walked in here.
Are you talking about Matt Roy from Channel 4?
Well, him too, yeah. But there's 2 rock stars sitting over there. Yeah. We get to sit with those guys later.
You know what's interesting? We should take a picture of that. It's pathetic. 2 dudes sitting at a table, both staring at their phones. And not knowing who the other one is.
That's all right.
Like Aaron Smith has no idea he's next to a TV star, and Matt Roy has no idea he's next to a rock star.
A rock star. Look at that. 2 stars in their own right, and they're looking at their phones.
In their own mind.
In their own mind.
In their own mind, for sure. Come hang out with us here at the Roo, 281 and Redland Road. Draft night. First night of Fiesta, you need to keep this number handy. Now, I know my friends at AA Best Bail Bonds would rather you Uber. Make sure you have a designated driver, not get in. But we all know what Fiesta means. Somebody's going to get arrested. If it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, you get arrested. You want to get out of jail fast. You know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If you get offered a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas. Services nationwide. Up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle. Who's the newest Cowboy? Who's going to be drafted tomorrow? We'll talk about that. Plus, we've got NBA playoffs still in full swing. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Join us for San Antonio's premier fiesta event, Taste of the Northside, presented by HEB, Thursday, May 1st at 6. Experience gourmet food and wine tastings, sip on elevated spirits and cold brews, and enjoy live entertainment at our new location, The Rock at La Cantera. All proceeds benefit Brighton Center, serving children with disabilities and developmental delays in San Antonio. Limited all-inclusive tickets are $300 in advance and can be purchased at tasteofthenorthside.org. Viva Fiesta.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
I just threw it on your desk and I went home.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Having a good time.
Why is Greg Shelton yelling at you?
Well, because I was about my adventures this morning, because I did the show with AJ from the house.
Yeah.
And so I have it's called a tie line. And, I just find that out. But for me, it's a box, and I plug it in, and I push this button, and I dial this, and it works.
Uh-huh.
Well, they couldn't figure it out this morning.
Who?
Well, first of all, poor
Edwin.
Poor Edwin. I call in, and he goes, "Hey, Joe, how are you? Did you need something?" And I was like, "What? Yeah, I'm on with AJ this morning." "Oh, I didn't know." I said, "Okay, no problem." And I said, "Can you punch me up? I can't hear anything." He goes, "Well, Vic will be right back." And so,
well, Edwin should know how to do that at this point. He's worked there long enough.
It all worked out. So everything's good. Got on the air, and it was perfect. And I'm just saying, Shelton, I'm like, dude, I don't know what the hell I'm doing when it comes to the technical stuff.
For people driving around that have no idea, the producers on the back end will ask us questions that we have no idea. And I think they do that just to feel smart. Pledge does this all the time. And Pledge has worked there, I don't know, 14 years.
Right.
All right. I've never answered the question. He'll be like, "Are you on blah, 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 blah?" Dude, I have no idea. I have no idea what goes on that side of the glass.
No.
Nor do I want to know.
I don't want to know.
Dude is in there basically flying a small space shuttle.
Yes.
Right? I don't know what buttons you have to push. I just know that on my end, I do this, and then on your end, I'm there. Right?
That's it.
But if you ask me, I have no idea, and I don't want to know. See, we got another unit. It's got a different name. See, now I know that. Like, I'm not on that. I'm on this. But then there's multiples. It's 1-3 or 2-4 or what. Who the hell no? And honestly, I think engineering types like Greg Shelton do that just to screw with everybody so that they keep their job. Because when none of us could figure it out. Not that you want to call Greg Shelton at 5:08 in the morning and say, "I can't figure this out." He's going to yell at you, but he's going to fix it and then go back to sleep saying job security.
Well, I'm just saying, I was about to call him.
Well, you should have, just for fun.
Just for fun, I should have given him a call. But
yeah.
No, so it all worked out. But, I mean, look, I'm not as experienced with that equipment as you are.
Dude, after 3 years, you should be.
Well, I mean, it was working on my end.
Uh-huh.
It's supposed to say 99.99. It was perfect. It said that.
Do you know what that means?
That means a send receive.
There you go.
Is outstanding. So it was perfect. It was perfect.
I mean, it is so simple. Reinagel could do it. Literally plug it in, and you push a button called enter dial, and that's all we should be asked to do.
I did my job.
Edwin shouldn't ask you another question.
I did my job. That's all I know. It all worked out.
And then all Greg cares about, did you bring everything back?
I did.
Yeah.
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 It's all packed in there. Not quite as neatly as it was.
That's not a surprise.
But everything is there, and that's really all Shelton cares about.
Except for when Shelton packs and sends us off to somewhere like Oxnard without very important parts that we need. Yeah. It's happened one time, and I've never let him forget it.
Yeah. Well, even Shelton makes mistakes sometimes.
Don't tell that to Shelton. Don't tell that to Shelton. All right, hour and 15 minutes to the draft.
And 54 seconds.
The Cam Ward is going to go number one. Man, and I tell you, I just saw some video of Cam Ward and his mom and dad, and they are looking sharp. They are looking sharp. This is exciting. And
dude, look at all the people there in Green Bay.
They've doubled their population.
It is incredible. Yes. Well, I think they have 250,000 is what their population is, and there's going to be over 500,000 visitors just for this.
It's incredible. Well, did you see the people at Green Bay? They're charging over $100 to park in their front yard.
Well, of course they are.
I mean, it's brilliant.
I don't blame them.
The only there's been a lot of complaints. Like Cam Ward complained that it was cold. Travis Hunter was saying, I like places like this out in the middle of nowhere where I can be by myself. And old Mike Greenberg can't get his normal coffee.
whatever weird milk.
About rich people problems.
I mean, it's Greeny. He can't wait to get the hell out of there.
Exactly.
But I mean, but you look, Cam Ward on our television now here at the Roo Pub, and it's just cool thinking it wasn't that long ago we were watching him play over at Benson Stadium.
And playing very well, by the way. He was something. We knew he was something special then. Nobody knew he was this something special, though, at that time. And then he goes to Washington State and sets the world on fire, and then makes probably the best decision he's ever made in his entire life, career-wise, and that was to stay in college, go to Miami, and hang out one more year.
I remember in Pullman, Washington, at the Apple Cup, talking with Calvin Ward, who, if you're watching on TV, is standing right behind Cam right now, his mom and dad. And, you know, we were talking about the draft and what he was going to do because, you know, the Apple Cup's the last regular season game, then they get their bowl game. And he had every intention of going pro. Got his draft grade, and I knew what he needed or what he was looking for. And he still declared, but the draft grade wasn't where he wanted it to be. And the NIL offer from Miami certainly was. And let's go one more year of college, get this money. And when you get those draft grades, they tell you what you need to work on. And hired his private quarterback coach. And this is what they worked on, goes to Miami, and now he's going to be the number 1 overall pick.
And what is fascinating about that, and people could say this is a bad quarterback draft or whatever they want to say, but the fact that the Tennessee Titans here for now, I don't know, 2 weeks maybe, 10 days, have said we're absolutely not trading this pick. We know exactly what we want to do, and they're sold on this kid. So they're sold on him, and that's really all that matters when it comes to Cam Ward. Tennessee Titans like him. They're going to draft him, and they hope that he is finally the quarterback that can get them to the next level.
And then you look at it, and you sit there and you say, what a great story, what a great journey. I couldn't be happier for him and his family. And we talked about this. You know, Cam has been on with us on the Blitz several times.
Yep.
Had him on around the Heisman, had him on after, you know, talking about the draft process where, and then it was, you might be a first round pick. Might be a first round pick. 1 overall. Wow.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. He'll be on soon. I'll say that. Now, granted, that kid's life is about to change, but there's stuff, in the works, and, can't wait because couldn't be happier for him.
Well, I tell you what, no matter what you think about the Tennessee Titans, Nashville's a pretty good spot to set up camp. So Cam Ward's going to have a nice spot, make a lot of money, and live the NFL life. I really hope it is a successful NFL life for Cam Ward.
Well, and you think about Cam, if he has success early, and they're building that new stadium, the house that ultimately he'll get credit for building if they have the turnaround, that every franchise, when you're drafting the quarterback, is hoping he can come in and, do what Joe Burrow has done for Cincinnati, or, what you don't want is what Zach Wilson did for the New York Jets, who, by the way, chose jersey 0 with the Miami Dolphins, which might be the dumbest number that dude could have picked.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what we do every Thursday about this time?
The Blitz wants you to know what's on tap. Presented by Sam's Burger Joint.
We get you ready for the weekend. We call it What's on Tap, and it is brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint online at samsburgerjoint.com, where you can go and buy your tickets, see their entire calendar and their menu. Reed Brothers, they're on stage tomorrow night. Saturday night, it is Chris Duarte Group. Taj Ferret on Sunday, Hay Bolstead on Tuesday, and next Wednesday, Graham Wilkinson and the Flying Ray.
Well, and if you're looking for something else to do on this Thursday night, you can head out here to the Roo Pub, because that's where we're going to be to watch the first round of the NFL draft. Other than that, Stable Hall at the Pearl has Nate Smith, Greenhall, Lane Bricker. A Taste of Ireland at the Charlene McCombs Empire Theater. You've got Eric Church at the ACO Live, and if you're headed up there, you're probably on your way. Thanks for listening on your way, by the way. The Moody Center, Jay Balvin, and the Vibes Event Center, Silent Theory.
Silent Theory is a great local band, and I was thinking about going to that show.
They got a couple other bands like Waves in April also playing tonight, but it's draft night.
It's draft night.
Friday night, Frostbank Center. I will be there for this. Disturbed. Daughtry and Nothing More. It is the Disturbed, the Sickness 25th anniversary tour. Bobby Polito is at the Techport Center. Joshua Ray Walker at Green Hall. Kyle Park at Floors Country Store. The Stable Hall at the Pearl has the Moss with Nightcap. The Margarita Pour-Off happening at the ESPY with Lit and Fuel. ACL Live, Jack Ingram and friends, Miranda Lambert, Ryan Bingham, and more.
Nice.
Oyster Bake tomorrow night. Hoopa Stank is headlining. First time you heard of them, huh?
Yes.
Good Lord, they've been around forever.
Yeah, I give them a lot of credit for that name. Hoopa Stank.
Good Lord. John Gonzalez, the Polar Bear at LOL Comedy Club.
Saturday night out of Green Hall, Jacob Stelly is performing out there. Josh Malloy is at Floors Country Store. In Oha at the Stable Hall at the Pearl. Nice. Okay. ACL Live has Felipe Esparza. Lincoln Park, you're going to be there for that, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Moody Center and Austin at on Saturday night. Chaos and Carnage at the Vibes Event Center. Oyster Bake on Saturday night. Sugar Ray, Josh Abbott Band, and more.
Green Hall on Sunday has the Hot Texas Swing Band. Techport Center, Fiesta de los Niños. ACL Live has Matt Matthews. And Polar Bear Gonzalez still at LOL Comedy Club. And in the Alamo Dome, the Brahmas have their home opener as they take on the Houston Roughnecks. You can get your tickets at UFLBrahmas.com. And they even have tickets that include the Wade Phillips Fiesta Medal. And they're also doing $3 beer and margarita before the game. A little happy hour there at the Alamo Dome.
Dude, that is incredible. $3 beers, $3 margaritas. And you got an opportunity to get one of these right here.
Yeah,
Dancing Wade Fiesta Medal.
You know, really, the only people watching on YouTube understand get one of these are.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's the Dancing Wade Fiesta Medal.
Yes.
As in Coach Wade Phillips. Yes. Yeah, you guys knew what I was talking about.
What's on tap? Brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint. Online at samsburgerjoint.com. A little bit left in the show. Final thoughts, Joe, on what you expect and what you want the Dallas Cowboys to do at pick number 12.
Well, if they stay at number 12, I want Ted McMillan if he's still available. I feel like he will be at number 12. That's who I'd like to see them draft. I think there's going to be some drama, though, Jason. Maybe involving the Cowboys, but I don't think so. I think involving some other teams that are going to try and make some move. I think the Houston Texans are a team you got to watch out for to do something special.
Well, Nick Caserio will move up. I certainly know that. But at the same time, for the Cowboys at 12, Golden or McMillan, if they stay there, I'm mixed. It's hard to pass on a McMillan if he is there. But also, I would not be surprised if the Cowboys moved down and still got a wide receiver, whether it's a Luther Burton or a Matthew Golden, something like that, and pick up either a third or a fourth-round pick. And I think a lot of that will tell you, if they make a move like that, what they think of Jonathan Mingo, and that would be a positive. If they take a Tate McMillan, you realize they punted their fourth-round pick last season.
Yes, they did. Again. Second one was Trey Lance, one was Jonathan Mingo. The jury's still out on Mingo. We'll see. But McMillan, Tate, I want to see you with a star on your helmet, young man.
T-Mac to Dallas.
Yeah.
And whoever gets picked, scheduled to be on the Blitz tomorrow afternoon. Rob and AJ will have the first reactions tomorrow on the Morning Huddle from 6 to 10. The Blitz back tomorrow afternoon at 2. It's beer time.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas.